On this episode of Regeneration X, the 90s, one of the greatest sports comebacks of all time does not really happen. We are ordering from the to-go menu of video games. There is too much drama at the movie theaters, and I believe it's time to consult the map on our music charts. Welcome to 1992. My name is Daniel. I am joined, as always, by two experts in our favorite decade. Wesley, how are you?
Life is good, bro. As usual, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and just got better.
And we couldn't do this without the people's class clown. Cass, welcome back.
That's right. I might not have been class clown of Beulah 1997, but today I'm everybody's class clown.
I want to recount, still to this day I want to recount, but politics.
Facts. Politics.
We are taking a look at the month of September in 1992, and as always, we're going to get started with the events right after a brief message.
It's Wayne and Garth.
Not. But these are real Wayne's World caps.
Just $5 with proofs of purchase from a Wayne's World video.
And from 5 crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery Butterfinger candy or ice cream bars.
Excellent.
No way. No way.
We're taking a look at the events of September 1992, and we are going to start at the beginning of the month, September 3rd. Jerry Lewis Telethon, Muscular Dystrophy Telethon. Did you guys... Am I the only one who had enough sick days at school to have sat around and watched too many hours of the Jerry Lewis MDA Telethon?
Okay, so I didn't watch this during the day. I don't remember it during the day.
It was some 24 hours long, was it not? I don't remember for sure.
Maybe. It wasn't on like while Sesame Street was on. I'd have been pissed.
I think it started early in the day.
What? Really?
Yeah.
No, I don't really remember that.
But
I love Jerry Lewis. I just don't remember it that way. And maybe I should. Maybe there was like, let's talk about this. And kids, go tell your mom to give us some money. And maybe, what channel did that come on?
I'm gonna go with like CBS.
Okay, yeah.
The, as you say, the old people's channel. It just seems like a.
No, I didn't watch this. I was getting this mixed up with like the PBS.
Oh, PBS
Telethons.
Keep Us in Business Telethon.
Yeah. Nah, I didn't watch this. This was like if it's CBS,
featuring Forever Plaid, and well, I don't know who else. Oh, Whoopi Goldberg has some things to say. What I remember is it was always co-hosted. Well, always to my knowledge, by one Ed McMahon.
Sure.
But now let's welcome to the stage, everyone, Jerry Lewis. So we got a musical number up front. This is.
I love Jerry Lewis, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Jerry Lewis, like for our generation, if you don't have just some fond memory of some Jerry Lewis movie or moment, then I don't know what kind of life he led. So anyway, Jerry Lewis is awesome and is the source of a lot of just clean comic memories for me. Good old laughs when I was a kid. So yeah, whatever. And I respect him for doing this telethon that I never really cared about, but I knew about it and respected him for it.
I personally know one person whose daughter benefited from these telethons.
Nice.
She had hospital bills. I don't remember exactly what was wrong, but he got mad because what was it? Was it Chris Rock who did the skit where he was making fun of, these telethons and how nothing ever got done from it? When that skit came out, he was very upset because, it personally helped his family and his daughter.
Okay. Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha. Oh, he was so funny, bro.
I can't name you a movie that he was in, but in my mind, I can kind of remember his characters.
Yeah, me neither. I'm with you. Just that same always the same, right? Over the top, crazy faces, goes into that super high voice.
Watching this, I'm not saying this is good. I'm just saying that we're in a generation now where I don't think a telethon. Most
You don't think it would work?
most kids have never seen a telethon, and you don't. You know what is going on screen right now. I don't know. You just don't get that anymore. You know.
What would be the closest thing to a telethon that we get on television these days?
I can't think of.
What?
You know, the first thing that came to mind was when Twitch does those game streams where they're raising money for, you know, various good causes. And I was like, we're gonna beat every Nintendo game over the next 2 days.
They did that. Didn't they do that concert for like Houston or something, where they had all the artists, or was it Haiti, or
Oh,
they had
probably,
some
yeah,
big
yeah.
natural disaster, and then a
Some
bunch of
disaster relief.
artists got together and they
Yeah.
played concerts on TV to raise money.
Sure, that sounds familiar. I can't think of any of them, but
It's easier
whatever. I
than
can say for sure that I've never called into one to give money.
it's
know
easier
I'm
than
looking at
ever
that.
now. You know, if this is done on a streaming platform now, there's just a little button to click right below. You know, so you're not having to coerce people to their telephones to call. You know, if you're in Orange County, dial 714. That's
I probably would. Like as an adult, would you call into one of these if you were in a magic time machine and lived 1990?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Are you a charitable person? Are either of you charitable people?
I'm mildly charitable. I think. I'd like to think.
Okay.
I think we all want to think that though, but
I'm more of a personal, like I'm a giver, so like if anybody needs help and they ask me, I can't say no.
Sure.
So I feel like I'm very charitable in that way. Like if somebody, you know, I had a guy I was pumping gas come up, and he said he just wanted a sandwich from Subway, so, or you know, he needed food and there was Subway right there, and I'm like, I'm not going to give you money, but if you want a sandwich, we can go in and you can buy anything off that menu you want.
That's right.
And he was like, that's great, let's do that. So I went in and bought him a sandwich. You know,
Sure.
I'll stop if somebody's on the side of the road and help them change a tire or something like that. Like that's what I
Yeah, me
enjoy
too.
doing. But as
Sure.
far as like, I don't know, I'm a little cynical about some of these big charitable organizations. I feel like somebody is pocketing the majority of the money I'm donating, and it's
Sure.
not going to the cause that I think it is.
Hmm.
So I'm not too quick to pick up the phone and call or text to the Red Cross or anything like that.
Right on.
what's that saying about if you want to make things better, start in your neighborhood? That's definitely not the saying, but you know what I'm going for.
That's it. If you want to change the world, start on your own street.
I think that's closer. Yeah.
But yeah,
Looking at the man in the mirror, as Miguel Haxon used to say.
my dude. Honestly, that's the third or fourth third or fourth song that made me cry, and I bawled the time that song made me cry. Oh, it's horrible.
It'll get you every now and then.
Every now and then, but yeah, one time it was. What do they call them? Crocodile tears or alligator tears? I don't know.
Crocodile tears.
Oh, it was pathetic. That was one of those. I don't know. The Lord touching my soul. You know what I mean? Who knows? Who knows? But I had to come to Jesus, or whoever you want to say I came to. I came to somebody.
Come to MJ.
Came to Michael Jackson. There's a joke there that we're going to leave alone.
There's a segue here that I'm going to leave alone too, because
Last night, a crime was committed in your community.
on September 4th, the first non-news program to be seen on 3 networks simultaneously is called Scared Silent, hosted by Oprah. It's about child abuse. Just kind of noteworthy. A couple things. 3 networks showing a program simultaneously was a big deal, of course, because it made it more about the actual problem than the profits, which is always nice.
Because they all want a piece of those profits.
So
They
apparently,
want the exclusivity to drive everybody to their channel.
but yeah, so you know, let's start speaking out about child abuse a little more in 1992. Uncover the issues. Oprah.
You guys remember this?
No, I don't.
I don't.
Do you?
No.
Nah, it was
Yeah, my mom was
probably
still beating my
because
ass. My mom didn't watch this.
if your mom saw you watching this, she would have turned it off and beat you. Is that what you were saying? Just for
We're
good
watching
measure.
it. She's just looking at me. Don't go getting any ideas. Don't go getting any ideas.
I mean, the
Whatever.
sad thing is, we didn't have cable, so we only had these 3 channels.
Right.
So if our
Right.
TV was on, we would have watched it. But
This was Friday at 10 p.m. I don't
Let me
know.
watch it.
We were playing video games.
It was on ABC also?
if possible. It was
What were the
on
major networks?
CBS, NBC, and PBS. So CBS and NBC are your major
Hey,
networks.
so you know what that was?
What's that?
That was ABC saying, you want us to do what during TGIF?
Oh, that's
Nah.
right. Friday
Nah.
Friday is not good for us.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was watching TGIF. If I wasn't at a football game, or a basketball game, I was watching TGIF. I was not watching
that was
Don't Beat Your
solid.
Kids because my mom wouldn't with it.
50-50 in 92, we could have been at a football game on a Friday night.
Sure.
Moving on.
Just like every kid, I loved.
This is a little more recent footage, but
Yeah,
Mae
who's that?
Jemison, she was the first African American woman to go into space aboard the Endeavour STS-47, September
Yeah, she's a
'92.
cutie.
Yeah, she was. Where's the cute photo that I saw of her in the spacecraft? I'm not gonna see it.
Is that what you
there.
have highlighted right now?
There it
What's on the
is.
screen?
There it is. Yeah, there was some. There we go. So I wanted to see her
yeah,
back
she
in
was a
'92,
cutie.
and she was definitely a cutie.
Yeah.
As a young
I
lady in
want Ellen to
'92.
be an astronaut. I talk to her about going to space all the time. And it's always in the, when you go to space and when you do this, when you get up there.
It's very empowering. I like it. Win.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Speaking in wins.
Speaking in
Yeah.
wins. Speak it into existence. What way?
I wanted to be an astronaut until we took a family vacation to Huntsville, and they had like a simulator or something of something
Did
that
you
the
get sick?
astronauts had to do. I didn't get sick, but I did not enjoy it. It scared the crap out of me, and I was like, nope, that's it.
You got to go to the G unit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that it's called the G unit.
No, this was like this little, I don't know, it went up and down, almost like a bungee
I
kind
remember
of jump thing.
Oh, okay.
And I was not with it.
all the cool kids went and did that astronaut simulator in Huntsville when we were young, and I was always jealous when I heard the stories about it.
Is it space camp or the thing that was in the mall?
It was sort of like, it wasn't a camp because it was like a one-day thing, right? So
Yeah,
you just went and experienced some stuff.
Mine
Like,
was just
almost
we
like an
drove to
amusement
Huntsville.
park, but not, right?
But I know they did used to have a space camp where, like, you could try on astronaut uniforms and eat the astronaut food and
Yeah, my
stay
sister
overnight
went.
and stuff.
Yep, my sister went for a couple of days with H.
I know that individuals can make a difference. And as Miss
Who is this?
Well, this is the prelims. I wanted to just talk about what all goes into the Miss America in 1992 because that's what we're moving on to. We're going to crown our 66th Miss America. Is that her?
I don't know.
I don't even know. Well, I'm going to show her to you in a second, but I just wanted to show you some of the talent portions of Miss America.
She looks kind of cool. I like pianist.
She's got that
In it.
got the mad Beethoven thing going on, playing a little trumpet here. This I could, if truth time, if I told you we were still watching the Jerry Lewis MDA marathon, would you believe me?
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Absolutely.
So this
But we're
part
not.
of the
We're not.
telethon-
This is Miss America.
Are they?
I'm not setting you up.
You ever watch one of these?
I'm sure. Well, you know what? As much as I absolutely love staring at beautiful women, I have never made it through the entirety of one of these without
Heck,
tuning
no.
out. Yeah,
There is no way in the world I'm watching all this mess.
I'll drop in and out, but not. I can't stay.
My wife and I watched the one where the girl from Opelika won.
Oh, neat.
Right on.
I didn't even know that was the thing. So
Yeah. Yeah, I can't.
I gotta find a tap dancer. There we go. And right on command.
I do like tap dancers.
It's a very don't get me wrong. I'm not opposed to pageant system, but it is somewhat strange. Anyway, your winner.
We watched some tap dancing. Put Ellen to bed to some tap dancing tonight, or as we're preparing. She's pretty. As we're preparing for bed. Moses. His toes are roses.
Here's your winner, Miss Leanza Cornett from Florida. See if we can get a better
Never
look at
heard
her.
of you.
There she is.
Oh, she's pretty.
Miss America.
Some hellacious earrings.
I was, deciding how to comment on those massive earrings.
She's really pretty.
Yeah. As you'd expect.
Right? I wonder what she looks like now. That looks like a psychopath. What did you do, dummy?
This kid is named Gregory Kingsley. He's 12-year-old. He won the right to divorce his parents.
I was about to say it. That's the little numbnut that divorced his parent. Like when they did that, when you said the thing on television, and I was talking about my mom, and her reaction to it is, don't get any ideas, and don't even think about divorcing me. And then there he is.
Boom, boom. Right on the same month.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
What was going on with this? Was he being beaten? Was he being beaten?
Yeah, I think
like for real being beaten.
Yeah, that was it. So and did not have any other relatives he wanted to be with, so he got some foster parents and just won the right to leave the originals and not only changed his last name but changes his first name too. So Gregory Kingsley divorced his parents and became Sean Russ.
Is that right?
That's right.
And it was because he was being beaten.
That's ballsy. I would have never thought to do that to my parents.
Maybe this September 92 was Child Abuse Awareness Month. Apparently.
It was Oprah. She gave him.
Oprah does what Oprah does, which is whatever she wants. The U.S. Mars Observer launched from the space shuttle, landed in September. And we get some sweet pictures of mapping the Martian world.
Do you think we're ever actually going to go to Mars?
If
Elena is.
Are you calling Arnold Schwarzenegger a liar?
Elon Musk is wanting to do it in like the next 5 years or something.
Oh,
I'm still not sure how I feel about old Elon Musk.
We're not going in the next 5 years, but we're going at some point.
He is
Inevitably,
an ambitious dude with a lot of money.
I just want to put somebody back on the moon. Like, let's do a live stream from the moon so we can
That's all you got to do.
Somebody's landed on the moon.
Out of the way. Let's get that out of the way.
Well, let's shut Daniel up about that real quick, and then we'll talk about Mars.
I'm looking at Mars with a squinted eye right now. Like, okay, that's a cool looking marble potentially.
But the moon's, I can see the moon, and we won't go there.
Yeah.
Speaking of stars,
there should at least be like a telescope on the moon, right?
Right. Something that proves that we were there and looks back at us. And
well, they got that. Well, they say they have that mirror that they can bounce a laser off of to prove that we've landed on the moon.
Do it. I still won't believe it. It'll just be something in orbit.
Well, we know that we landed a little remote controlled car on Mars.
Of course we did.
Right?
That's 100% not New Mexico.
It plays Happy Birthday to itself every year on its birthday.
Are you telling me that I've got a new conspiracy I can throw at people? Thank you. You've made my day. You've made my day.
You're welcome.
I was too busy debating the legitimacy of the moon landing to ever even start calling them out on this Mars thing. Oh, this is going to be beautiful. Beautiful.
Right? You guys aimed a rocket at Mars And Mars is where again? Shut up. Is what I would say if I was a doubter. I believe you did it. Totally. Don't come to my house killing people.
Okay, speaking of stars, we got a new Hollywood Walk of Fame star for one Roseanne, who starred, just simply says Roseanne, not Roseanne Barr, not Roseanne Arnold, just Roseanne. I'm team this show is not good at all.
Is that right?
Yes, this show is unwatchable.
Interesting. I am team you're a nut.
Okay, hey, that's and respect, right? Because I'm in the minority of this opinion, and I'm okay
the show's
with that.
real.
I'm
okay with that.
I'm team. My parents were too conservative to allow me to watch this.
Is that right?
Yes, I was not allowed to watch Roseanne. I
I
was not allowed to watch Murphy Brown. There was a lot of stuff I was not allowed to watch.
Well, in this case, your parents
Is that
just have
right?
good taste.
Yeah, when you only have one TV in the house, you really can't get around it.
No doubt. Yeah, my mom was totally cool with Roseanne because whatever. You can't say that's our life at all, but
There's an element of realness to it.
those are
Sure.
yeah, it's just real. Yeah, it's real. Nobody else I could relate to on television.
I appreciate it. You know, portraying, doing a portrayal of what would you call it? Middle class or middle lower
Right.
was
Lower
Yeah,
middle
lower
class.
middle class.
was really all about. You didn't, know what family ties where they live in the giant house and that kind of thing.
Who wasn't rich or who wasn't like very comfortable?
Right.
Like even the Winslows were comfortable.
That's Family Matters, right? Yeah, their house was huge.
That's Family Matters. Then
Who's the boss?
like,
that house was so huge. She hired a male
that's
butler.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Connecticut,
Family
and
Ties
she
house
has a
was
butler.
huge. For some reason, I'm
Family
thinking of
Ties.
the show Alf, and that house was huge.
Full House there in San Francisco.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
San Francisco neighborhood, and their dad is a sports
Right,
reporter,
absolutely.
right? So
He was a morning show.
Morning show host. He was Regis Philbin, our like local guy.
Yeah, for San Francisco.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was no houses on TV that reflected, the house that I was living in. And granted, my house was free. The only reason we were able to do what we were able to do to, how little money we had growing up was because we didn't have a mortgage. My father had a job as a pastor where we were given a house to live in on the church property.
Yeah, your bedroom was awesome.
It was the upstairs giant bedroom with the slanted ceilings.
Yeah,
They built that specifically for us because when he accepted the job, he was like, this house doesn't fit our needs. We need one more bedroom. And they're like, well, we can turn the attic into a bedroom.
is that right?
That is how that bedroom ended up there.
I'll tell you what, as I was grabbing my beer, I'm up in the man cave right now chilling. As I was grabbing my beer, I was thinking, you know why this room feels familiar to me? It's because it's like Cass's bedroom.
Even the stairs that go, now that you've said, it would have never clicked with me until you said that just now, but just even going up there, it has a similar feel, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. It's the smaller version of your bedroom.
I need to go hang out up there then.
Yeah, come on.
Go play some NBA Jam up there.
Play some NBA Jam and we'll drink some beers instead of some dews. Or we can drink some dews.
Take your pick. All right, moving on. Here's a weird one for you. The ASPCA stops a Santeria ceremony in the Bronx, halting the sacrifice of 42 animals.
I was about to say they were trying. That's one swole little dude, man. Rewind that. What's going on with that little kid's arms? What is that all about?
Now, I don't practice Santeria, so I don't.
You should use your crystal ball.
I don't know a
You
thing
don't have
about
one,
this.
do you?
I got no crystal ball. And if we want to keep going,
$1,000,000,
I'll-
but
I'd probably spend it all too on
I
something
had my
or another.
Sublime hat on earlier today.
I'll
My brother got me a Sublime hat when he was working at Hot Topic.
fully admit to having no idea what Santeria was, even when that song was in my head all the time. So,
Is that right?
yeah,
Okay, well now you do, right? You've watched the story
yeah,
in preparation for this moment.
absolutely. So I'm a little more in the loop.
Why is there always like some?
Just some
Not
strange.
always.
Well, I mean, it's not. Is it fair for me to say strange? I will say strange only because of the sacrifice of animals. But biblically speaking, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I was like thinking like that white lady reminded me of that chick from the movie Under the Tuscan Sun, like random blonde white lady in an area like this. I don't know. She reminded me of that movie.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Magic Johnson on September 29th, 1992 will announce his comeback to professional basketball. We are awaiting MJ.
He's the GOAT.
Not to be confused with the other MJ that's the GOAT. But Magic Johnson, here he is. Now, spoiler alert, he announces his return to play basketball. But actually, he does not return to play basketball during this particular comeback announcement. He does play a couple preseason games, but backs out before the actual season begins, so he does not play an official game as a Laker in 1992, in the 92 to 93 season.
We've talked about this before, and I've said I thought that it had a lot to do with the other players being like, nah.
Mr.
How about if we don't?
As a matter of fact, Mr. Brute Strength, who I will very soon find that commercial for, Karl Malone, was at the forefront of no, how about you don't come back to play basketball? So there was some fallout between them, apparently. This is the kind of thing you learn when you're looking up Magic Johnson announcement and Karl Malone Brute Strength commercials.
So, one more thing about Magic Johnson that you guys have heard me say over the past couple of episodes, if you've watched them all, or if you ever go back and listen. I think Magic Johnson is arguably the best player ever. And Michael Jordan really didn't start having success for real and establish himself until Magic was gone. Someone recently kind of pointed out and it may have been you guys last week, but it's a new thought to me and still powerful for me, is the idea that all this happened at his prime. He was like just in his prime when all this happened. Like with all the success he had before this, he was, still very much so in his prime. I want to say he was at the oldest, 32 at the very oldest. I don't think he was that old when this happened.
It would not be a stretch to say that as far as being at 100% level, we may have lost upwards of 6 years of Magic Johnson.
Exactly.
And who knows how different things could have been. So it's a very good
for
point.
His legacy.
Yeah. For his legacy, for Michael Jordan's legacy. If in this theoretical thing here, we go to the finals and lose to the Lakers year after year, or even split with some of those.
Right.
What is the conversation then? Now, everything I know about Michael Jordan still makes me feel like he's just the absolute best, but I know a lot more about Michael Jordan than I do Magic Johnson.
Absolutely. Michael Jordan played Magic Johnson one time in the finals, and Magic's second best player was Vlade Divac. Yeah, give the Lakers an opportunity to
give him a
recover from losing Kareem and James Worthy and all the guys for real.
Yeah, it was a bit of a transitional period there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right, and oddly related, so on this same month, we're going to lose actor Anthony Perkins, probably most notable to you guys from the movie Psycho. Also,
that's Psycho Killer.
Yeah, Norman Bates from the Bates Motel, but he's going to die of AIDS at the age of 60.
I remember that actually.
Meanwhile, Magic Johnson is going to go on to beat it completely. I'll get a chance to talk about Magic's incredibly impressive training regimen.
Right.
Later on, when he makes spoiler alert, he may make another comeback attempt in the next couple of years.
Right.
He does some very impressive things.
You guys ever watch this?
I've
Not the actress, but you ever watch Psycho?
I've watched not the black and white one, but I definitely have watched one of the Psychos, probably around 2 or 3 or whatever. It was in color, and I was way too young to watch it, and it was really creepy.
Oh, really?
I haven't watched it. They did that TV show that I wanted to watch. What was that called? Bates Motel or something? Yeah, and I wanted to watch that, but I just never started.
Yep, I've heard good reviews. I've got a friend whose opinion I kind of trust on things like that, and she said it was really good. So it's on a secondary list. It's on a list of things where if I'm stuck and I don't have anything to watch and it's one of those things, then I'll check it out. You know what I mean?
When you've hit peak boredom, you'll hit play on it and see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm stuck in a cabin and there's nothing but a flash drive with several shows, and one's the Bates Motel. I'll watch it.
Yeah, I've got a big list of shows like that, and it's not even that they're bad shows. It's just, there's only so much time in the day.
There's only so much time, and there's a lot of shows.
I usually just default back to The Office.
What's that guy's name? Yeah, I've done The Office.
John Tesh, right? This is John Tesh from
Okay.
Entertainment
Is it
Tonight.
just me, or does it look like he could be Bob Barker's brother?
Norman Bates?
Yeah.
I can see it a little bit.
I can see it. Bob Barker's brother. I'm gonna throw Mike Pence in there as one of those people as well.
That's a solid one too. The family. Well, there
and
you
Dwight Eisenhower.
I'm gonna have to reference that one.
If I'm thinking of the right president. Whatever. Carry on.
Well, there you have it. That is the events of September 1992.
That's kind of
It's a slow month.
Kind of a boring month.
It was, and believe me, this was the best that I could find. But yeah, I meant to lead in with that. Kind of a slow month for news, but we've had so many newsworthy months leading up to this, so maybe it's kind of nice to calm down for a bit.
Sure.
They thought gang violence only happened in South Central LA. Now it's coming to Beverly Hills. An all-new 90210 Wednesday.
Guys, it is time to talk about television in September of 1992. This is a topic where we kind of gleam over it month after month. As the summer is fading away into fall, the theaters are going to see a little less activity here, and we are going to pick it up and have some things to watch at home. So we'll breeze through this, but I've got a little more news than usual in the world of television, starting with NBC is the first network to cancel their Saturday morning cartoon programming of the ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox group, and they're going to replace it with shows a little more teen-friendly, including a block of shows that features the following. Any guesses before this is...
California Dreams.
It's too late. It's given away. Do you guys remember
I already
California
knew it. That's the
Dreams?
one I'm always talking about.
This is...
Saved by the Bell?
Exactly. You would... Other than the actors, okay, the font, the color scheme is a very Saved by the Bell ripoff going back. But,
I love it.
They knew their audience, right? I'd forgotten about this show.
Not me. This is the one I'm always talking about. I'm like, I loved Saved by the Bell and then Don't Sleep. I liked California Dreams also. I liked that guy. He ended up dating an Asian girl on the show, and I dated an Asian girl for a half a second shortly thereafter, and I slightly compared me to him.
You also played the drums.
Because of that. And I played the drums, absolutely.
Your role model.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love this show, bro.
I can't remember much about it, to be honest, but obviously I watched it. It was coming on NBC on Saturday mornings right after Saved by the Bell. It was going to get some views. We also considered a team.
Bro.
Yeah. So this is how big of a deal basketball was to all of us, young and old, in '92. That in a teen programming block on Saturday morning, we had a show called NBA Inside Stuff. I thought that was pretty cool.
That says a whole lot that was in 1992, and still in 2019, football is considered the dominant sport in North America. You guys have both heard me say at some point over the years that basketball is the best sport in the world. I'm sure Cass probably wouldn't disagree with that.
The world would disagree with that and tell you it is soccer. That is not.
Okay.
I'm only speaking as a representative of the world and not Daniel right now.
As a guy who loves to play devil's advocate, allow me to counter that with basketball is growing faster around the world than soccer is.
That's because basketball is not the most boring thing anyone has ever seen ever.
Absolutely. When it comes to like little kids around the world, like global survey. Now, granted, this was about 5 years ago that I read this. Global survey, little kids are participating in basketball on the rec level around the world or youth level around the world more than soccer now. That's around the globe.
That fills Valky's heart with happiness.
One thing that's got to be helping is how big it's becoming in China, with the population in China, with them latching on to basketball.
Sure. You think about like these Eastern European countries that are just crazy good at basketball, though. And I mean, England, obviously, France puts players in the NBA, probably like their top 10 with countries that put players into the NBA. Canada, for sure, like Mexico's doing, South America, putting ballers into the NBA, right? Which is just a testament to whatever they have going on there. These American, if you can't make it into the NBA here, there's a super long list of countries around the world that you can go to and be a professional basketball player. I mean, you may not make $1 billion, but you'll be able to eat somewhere hooping.
There was a guy that went to our school a couple of years. I don't think you guys had joined us then. I was the basketball manager of the team at the time, but we had a guy who went and played overseas he had a long career overseas.
Dion played overseas.
Yeah, Dion, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. From Little Beulah, Alabama.
Yep. Yeah, Dion played over. He tried to get Carey to play. Tried to get DC to go over and play also. They played in the military. But yeah, Dion would go and make his money and then come back over here and I'm not gonna say trick off for a minute, but he'd come back over here and live his life, right? And there were times when he was like, okay, well, I need to make some more money. So at least once he told me that, right? Like, okay, I went back over to get some more money.
Man, to be skilled enough at a sport to say, well, I need some more money, I'm gonna go play the sport some more.
Sure. And then, like famously, how about this? We can talk basketball for forever, you know that. But, famously now with the story with equal pay for females, blah, 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 blah. Valid thing. I'm just not trying to get into it right now. But part of the story with athletes is specifically female basketball players. We have the WNBA here in this country that's just kind of you don't want to say a dying league, but it's not self-sufficient, right? It's able to prop itself up because of the NBA and the fact that it's just not a profit-making thing. It just isn't, right? So the players make what they make. Those same players make more by going overseas and playing. The WNBA contracts are not the primary pay for the best players.
No, they're making like 40,000. I think the top tier players are making around 60 or something like that I heard.
But it's not much. I want to say they make six figures now. I could be wrong, but I think that's true. It's not much though. It's not 150,000 a year. It's definitely not that.
Yeah, especially compared to what the astronomical sums the men are making.
The insane numbers that the men are making. And rightly so.
That's a supply and demand.
A strange way to say it.
All sports is a supply and demand situation. Like
absolutely, so it's a supply and demand.
There's a reason those men are making that. Like they didn't just. It didn't just magically happen.
Absolutely. So
the WNBA arenas are not full, unfortunately.
Right. You could
have their NBA arenas. They're not going to fill them up.
They could fill a high school gym with some of their turnouts. That's just what it is. And how do you got to make this somehow make it more exciting for people to watch if you want to get on the level.
Piggybacking off of what you just said, right? Supply and demand thing. Well, it's interesting to note that those same ladies playing the exact same game go to Russia, go to China,
Where
go
the demand
to
is.
wherever else,
Right.
and make 3-4 times what the demand is here,
And that is
right? Which is a testament to the strength of basketball itself, right? Just putting a little
yeah.
bow on that.
Well, yeah. I can't fix it in this conversation, but there's an argument to be made there that instead of being called the WNBA, maybe it needs to be called the WWBA, like World Basketball Association, and they branch out a little bit and get some other countries involved and bring up the quality and bring up the exposure. But
yeah,
because unlike the NBA,
the overnight fix.
The foreign women players aren't coming to the States to play.
Right.
Right.
We're sending our players
those numbers, apparently.
No.
That's an interesting.
But getting back to inside the NBA inside stuff, did anybody else ever think it was weird that they had an NFL player host NBA inside stuff?
Yep.
Well, I guess you couldn't have an NBA player host NBA inside stuff because
he was a retired football player, so they could have had a retired
basketball player. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, interesting. I guess if you're
because we don't associate him at all with football coverage.
No, not anymore.
At all with football.
He's the NBA inside stuff guy.
Right. Did he do any football programming? Classic. The OG, the GOAT.
It is the GOAT, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the GOAT.
This was the lead batter on your block, I believe. Although they should have saved it for last. I'd have to go back and look at the programming set up. This is your cleanup batter, really. But I believe they led with Saved by the Bell into California Dreams. And if you're still around, you want to check out some NBA. That's how this
went. Elizabeth Berkley was just underappreciated at the time.
So was a lot of Rory's.
No, not by me. You know, whatever. Your boy got to zoom in on those tokens.
These were just three drop dead gorgeous girls.
For sure.
For our time. The pinnacle of what you would want a girlfriend to be. Just any of them. Whichever one you can get.
Whichever one you can get.
Dealer's choice.
You gonna do it again?
No, well, there
was
you
that
have
so
it.
good to you?
If we're still talking about it, I'm gonna do it again. But yeah, this is it. This is your. The audience was growing up. I guess they felt, So let's get away from cartoons and get into this where we can,
And probably just like not wanting to fight against CBS and.
ABC had a strong
Fox
animated
ABC.
block in the 90s.
And PBS.
Yeah.
And PBS. I want to say I watched like at certain times the cartoons were crap on the major networks, and I would find myself checking out PBS.
Speaking of PBS, Wesley, I'm glad you brought that up. The final season.
Smooth transition.
Yeah, it's like you read my cards here. The final season has begun of a classic. See if you guys remember this one at all. This is called Square One.
Yes, I remember that it was a thing. But it was not my jam.
Yeah, it was a really strange. You know what I remember the very most about it is this Pac-Man ripoff where you were learning to do various mathematical equations as this little guy would go around and have conversation with the ghost in his head, which is a tornado, about answering questions to move on. This I remember, and nothing else about this show, but went on.
I don't remember any of this.
A very non-Sesame Street style variety show, but I think it was trying to reach a similar audience. I don't know who this show is for. It made it 5 seasons, though. This will be the last, unfortunately.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? You can't do that on television.
Well, this was you shouldn't do that on television. This is similar.
Yeah.
All right, so you know what this kind of looks like to me. I don't know if you've gotten it. Any PBS? Do you guys watch PBS?
I watch.
Not really.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Like right now, watching it with Maddie.
No.
Check out this show, Odd Squad. Watch Odd Squad. Trust me. Trust me. Give it like 2 or 3 episodes. Great educational work by PBS. We're a PBS NPR family. Try Odd Squad. I'm going to say Odd Squad is one of the easy top 10 best kid shows out right now. I kind of want to put it top 5. Check out Odd Squad.
Will do. Speaking of shows that no one's heard of with the Square One, here's a debut on Fox Primetime. Tell me if you guys remember this one. We'll jump into it a little bit here.
I do remember this.
This is called
100%. I remember this. This was cool.
This is called Dog City.
Yeah, I like this.
Based on a Jim Henson, Muppet, I guess, or whatever you call some.
Jim Henson is amazing, bro. Just a great.
He's given us a lot of things, hasn't he? Jim Henson's Dog City. There it is. There's a Muppet dog.
Yeah.
I have no recollection of this whatsoever. And it looks like between the animated scenes, you do get some traditional Muppet type stuff here.
Sure. Very
reminiscent of
Fraggle Rock.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or any scene where
and Jim Henson stuff. Yeah,
like where Kermit and whoever are talking.
Sure.
The Muppet Babies.
Well, don't get me started. Muppet Babies, one of the all-time classics of morning cartoons, right?
Everything Henson touched was gold to me. Henson could do no wrong. Him and Shel Silverstein and a few others, obviously Dr. Seuss, just legends and
was Shel the
pillars in my life.
The Berenstein Bears, was that?
No, Shel Silverstein was Where the Sidewalk Ends, A Light in the Attic, Giving Tree.
Yeah. I'm dumb. Yeah. I've got that book. There's this big silver book that's got so many of the writings and poems.
Great poems. Yeah, absolutely.
It was given to me as a gift to read to Madeline as the years go.
You should. Which one is it? It's
silver. That's all I can remember about it right now. It's just a tall silver book.
Like there's a few of them that go together where they did like these anniversary. They get like gold sleeves and silver sleeves and things like that. If it's not Where the Sidewalk Ends, I'm going to go ahead and recommend grabbing that one because I think it's the most age appropriate for where Maddie and Ellen are. I've noticed like A Light in the Attic, a little bit older for her, where I've gone through those Where the Sidewalk Ends poems several times. And it's like, well, let's try something new. And A Light in the Attic is older. And then that other one I've got in there somewhere, but I haven't read it recently. I love Where the Sidewalk Ends. And Shel Silverstein and Jim Henson. Cheers to him for this. Because even like everything about this looks good.
I'm going to shift.
You know it's going to be clever.
What's that?
The writing. You know the writing's going to be clever.
Oh
Jim
yeah,
Henson
absolutely.
Is clever.
Yeah. I imagine if I were to give the whole episode a go, I'd probably watch more than one.
Right on.
Hey, these episodes are on YouTube because who's copywriting this? I guess it's Jim Henson, so somebody ought to, but
yeah,
it appears no one remembers it. This next one will be remembered though. We're getting into the actual, I say adult, just the adult-centered sitcoms.
I have a hard time with this one.
I never liked it. Here's the debut episode though in September of '92.
I can't say that I didn't like it. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was one of the things that Jennifer, the oldest daughter, one of the things that we bonded on is we both kind of wanted to get out of small town Opelika and live in an apartment in the city. And we ended up living in an apartment in Opelika.
But we both loved the show.
Halfway there?
Sure.
You were halfway there?
Sure. Absolutely.
50% of goal.
But we liked this show. I've got a lot of good memories of sitting on the couch watching this show with her.
Am I making this up? Did Seinfeld and this show have a crossover episode?
That doesn't sound familiar to me, but I don't know.
I've seen every episode of Seinfeld, and I don't remember a crossover.
Yeah, I don't remember. I have not seen every episode of Seinfeld, but I've seen a lot of the episodes of this show, and I don't remember a crossover episode.
Okay.
It looks like they
Scratch
could live
that
in the
out of the
same building,
podcast.
though. Well, also, we had the debut of this lead-in is so good
Hang in with Mr. Cooper.
that I almost want to watch the whole thing with you guys. Here is the pilot episode of a show that I may have watched every episode of, Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Yeah.
I didn't know this until, or remember this, or know this, whatever, until I watched this. It's filmed in the same house as Growing Pains, because the first episode, here's Alan Thicke, or Mr. Seaver, coming in to say, "What are you doing in my house?" And I'm talking all over it right now, but there's some pretty good comedy going back and forth with these guys right now. But yeah, this would end up being it. Kind of interesting, and he plays a teacher, does he not? I mean, that's the whole premise of the Mr. Cooper thing. Right?
I don't remember. Basketball coach, maybe?
Maybe
Yeah,
so.
I think he was a basketball coach.
He's in a tracksuit like the entire episode as I skimmed through it, but I really felt like he...
Look, Jemison from a different world. Oh, Jemison.
I thought I recognized her. But look, here we are in school, right? Remember last month, Mr. Drexel's class ended. This month, Mr. Cooper's class begins. So, you know, just interesting.
Is that...
Who's the girl on the right? She looks a little familiar, but it may just be that I remember her from the show.
Remember her from the show?
Yep, that's it.
Is the light-skinned guy, is that the guy that's what's-his-face's brother?
Show him to me again. Is he going to tell me? Was he just on screen?
The one in like the cross-color shirt right there, the red and black shirt, red, black, and green shirt. Is that Cuba Gooding Jr.'s brother? Is that the guy that's Cuba's brother?
Let's look at him. Here he comes. I don't know. I don't know if I see it or not. Maybe.
There's an actor who's...
I'm trying to see it, but
brother.
I don't quite see it.
So I was like, oh crap, that's his brother?
Omar?
Is his name Omar Gooding?
I believe so, because he was also on that Nickelodeon show where the kids did challenges.
That's him. Same person. That's him.
So it's a good cast.
She's always been so pretty to me.
Yeah.
My stepdad had a crazy crush on her, though.
On her with the Thigh Master here?
Yeah. He loved her.
I'm more about
Holly
this one in the blue dress.
Holly Robinson. So, you know, I always associated her with Robin Givens, right? Because they were both on, what was that show?
We just talked about it, I feel like, not long ago. Yeah.
Yeah, they were both on Head of the Class together, so they're forever compared to each other. And Holly Robinson ultimately wins.
Yeah, she's the winner. Although, you know, you go back and look at like Boomerang trailer again, and it'll make you think twice.
In her prime is a smokestack.
Absolutely.
But Holly just, I don't know, for whatever reason, I just view her more fondly.
Well, because...
Staring at them titties.
Oh, my. So because I...
Can't edit that.
Somebody take this man's beer away. So as the quote unquote host of the show, sometimes I will take advantage of that role, and I saved what I thought was the best for last for this television segment here. So this debuted also in September of 1992. This would have, you know, been on your probably the greatest animated anything ever, right? But this would have been on some afternoon programming block.
Ooh, what a claim!
Well, it's Batman, and I'm always gonna.
What a claim! I'm gonna go with.
You can't compare it to like DuckTales
favorite Batman
or anything,
ever, right?
Yeah, it's
Can you compare it to DuckTales?
There's just different genres here, so.
What would you compare it to? And is it better? Is it better than Ninja Turtle? Hell to the no.
Ooh.
To the no.
Animaniacs?
We just watched Animaniacs, the first episode last night. But I put some respect on that name, man. With all due respect to Michael Keaton,
It's
probably my favorite Batman.
Very well revered Batman, and it gets to cover a lot of ground. It's going to go on for several seasons.
And that's really what it gets away with more than anything is
having time to tell
just
a story.
the amount of time in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like reruns on top of reruns. Yeah, it shows a thing. That show is a thing. As much as I defend Superman, Batman is my guy. You guys have heard me say it before. I just acknowledge that Superman will fly down from the moon right now and push Batman through the top of that building into the ground. All Batman fans just acknowledge that. That's the problem that I have with Batman fans. Oh my God, that's the problem that I have. Like Superman can't sneak attack Batman. Shut up. Superman melts this dude's brain.
He would have been in his kryptonite
from his recliner.
The moment he knew that trouble was coming.
Exactly. And if there is a weakness in his armor, then somebody's just going to rewrite Batman and make him. Did you know that Bruce Wayne bought a way for him to be an alien also, and he gets powered by the sun now because he has a lot of money. Shut up.
I wouldn't go that far. I can't go that far with my Batman.
Right.
But you know what? You've also exposed the problem with Superman storytelling is that he's just too indestructible to ever believe that he's not just going to save the day in 5 minutes. Every Superman movie should be 5 minutes long.
Sure. That's why every Superman movie involves creating another Superman.
Right, because what are you going to do?
Because what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? They
Or using kryptonite against him.
Right, they had
Sure.
let's invent kryptonite, so they'll have a problem. So Gene Hackman can get up to his dastardly deeds.
That's a new thought. Is there a Superman movie where ultimately he doesn't either something pretending to be him or someone secretly from his planet?
The quick take is I can't think of a scenario that doesn't involve most recently in Batman versus Superman, Batman having kryptonite. Previously to that, Lex Luthor having kryptonite, or someone coming from his home planet.
Yeah, like another super person. The only one where it's like,
and Superman is apparently the only good guy to come from that planet.
Right.
Like everybody else is a total jerk. Yeah, him and
Supergirl, his cousin, they get no love. If there's two of them running around that world, then how are they not just on thrones somewhere? There's two of them, really? Whatever. Okay, Superman's awesome. Watch The Boys if you guys haven't watched The Boys yet. Speaking of Superman and Batman,
have not. It's on the queue.
Yeah, it's on the queue. I hear good things about it.
It's super cool. I want to go back and watch it again. Also,
I'm rewatching Stranger Things because it's October.
Because it's October. Maybe I should do that. Maybe that's what I'll do next week.
Oh, that's a great time to get into Stranger Things. Yeah,
maybe. Let's see what else I'm feeling, but yeah, maybe. Oh, I'm doing Cobra Kai right now, but that's a story for another time. Yeah, that's an 80s conversation, maybe.
We're gonna get completely derailed we can talk about Cobra Kai and Stranger Things for 6 hours. So
sure,
that will do it for television in September 1992.
Who does the first ever 8-meg game, the ultimate in gameplay, voted Game of the Year? Who does the third generation of the hot arcade hit Shinobi and lifelike 16-bit graphics? Does. Who gives you 2 stereo speakers free so you hear the great stereo sound of Genesis? Just buy any 3 Sega Genesis brand games before March and get 2 stereo speakers free.
It's time to take a look at the video games of September 1992, and for once, and maybe never again, hot in the arcades was a slew of pinball games.
Are you hating on pinball games? I love pinball.
Not at all, actually, not at all. And this is the reason that I included it in this month's list, is to see what you guys thought of pinball games. They're just hard for us to talk about because on some level, and I mean this with the best of respect I can say, they're kind of all the same. So it's really
right. I'm looking at this. I'm like, I've played this one. Looks super duper familiar.
Well,
but
yeah,
it looks familiar because they all
because
look like
you've played any pinball game ever. So this
is just the theming is what would suck you into it. You know, did you like the Terminator because Terminator had a pinball machine?
Yeah, it's the exact same layout as the Ninja Turtles pinball machine beside it or whatever, but this one's got Terminator on it, so I'm gonna give it a shot. You know, something like that. This one is for people that like race cars, apparently. So the getaway. But
I can say that I never really got into the themes of pinball games. I paid zero attention to whatever the theme was. It was literally just a game of, can I track that little ball like a cat and hit it? Who cares what's going on? All of that is distraction that I'm really trying to not pay attention to.
That's very true. It was more just like, how long can I... This was usually like, I'm down to my last 2 tokens at the arcade. I need something that's going to occupy a little time. Let me see how long I can keep this pinball from slipping by.
Let me find the crappiest pinball machine here that only cost a quarter.
Yeah, whatever the coolest looking 1 token pinball machine is going to be. A lot of people love pinball, and I have full respect for that. It is absolutely fun. Just
new arcade thought that just struck me. You said token, I said quarter. When you think arcade, do you think token or quarter?
I guess now that you've posed the question, I can't really decide, but
I don't know that there's any value to that thought. It's just an interesting thought.
It is an interesting, but you know, we probably frequented the same arcade more often than not. You know, us 3, if we were going to go to one, odds were it was going to be in Auburn
as
at
teenagers.
the mall. Yeah, the what was it? It was originally called
Aladdin's Castle.
I think it was Aladdin's Castle, or as Bally's Aladdin's Castle. Maybe it was always just some version of Aladdin's Castle. I think maybe towards the end it was bought by Namco or something. I don't know, but yeah, Aladdin's Castle, and they used tokens. Like you changed your money into these little not golden coins, right?
Sure.
So,
sure.
Yeah.
I cut my teeth though at the Gold Mine Arcade in Phoenix, Arizona, in the Maryvale Mall.
Real quarters.
And real quarters.
Love it.
Absolutely. And I've got I've got years of experience there to.
Yeah.
I used to sneak across the street to the mall between 1st grade and 4th grade, 5th grade. It was my 5th grade year when I moved to Alabama. Yeah, between 1st grade and 5th grade. So legit 4 years of, let's say 2nd grade is really when we started sneaking over to the mall. So I'm going to say 3 years of legit getting over there, living it up in Gold Mine. So yeah, quarters.
The original, like when I was young and there were arcades, like literally arcade rooms inside laundromats and gas stations and that kind of thing. Quarters were the way to go. And
plus that, absolutely.
Love it. Miss it dearly. Moving on though. So a game that was in arcades and gets ported home is King of the Monsters 2 from Neo Geo, where you
oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I actually prefer the first one because the monsters were a little more relatable. Like this is absolutely Godzilla, this is absolutely King Kong kind of thing. This one they tried to get a little more variety, I suppose you could say.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to mix it up the next time around.
Yeah, cool game nonetheless.
Still not as cool as Rampage, even though it was in Rampage. Not remembered as fondly.
Probably not, but I loved Rampage, and I've sunk a lot of quarters into it over the years.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you guys watch the movie?
Nope, haven't seen the movie.
I have seen the movie, and I thought it was pretty good.
You want to hear something shocking?
Yeah.
I haven't seen a rock movie in so long.
As someone who's previously a rock fan, that is a little bit surprising.
I'm not previously a rock fan. I love that man. Still.
Well, why don't you support
I am of the people. I am one of the people. I am one of the first people.
That's true. You are one of the first people.
Yeah.
He makes good movies. Even
one of the people. I know he does. He's awesome. I love him.
Even his sort of bad movies are still good movies because he's in them.
He does no wrong. He does no wrong to me.
He's the
No
best
bad
action
movies.
star out there. Him and Jason Statham, they're the top 2 action stars out there right now.
He is.
Sure.
You know, if you want to, obviously Jean-Claude Van Damme's the greatest of all time. But some people would say Arnold. But I would say The Rock. The Rock is definitely probably right there. Rock is probably number 2 to Jean-Claude Van Damme as the greatest ever action star.
So what was the last Rock movie you've seen, Wesley?
The Rundown.
It's a good movie.
It is a great movie. It's just one of his first ones.
It's probably like that Tooth Fairy movie or...
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's old. That's been a long
Yeah.
time. So you haven't seen Jumanji?
I haven't seen Jumanji, like, since he became a thing, for real.
The megastar that he is?
Yeah.
Jumanji
Like, no, that's
is,
just my people. Me and the Rock is family.
Jumanji is great. Central Intelligence is great. Anything with him and Kevin Hart together is great.
Yeah, I'm not a big Kevin Hart guy, even though I respect him a lot.
Guy?
Nah, I respect him a lot, and I hope for nothing but good things to happen in his life.
I like his movies better than his stand-up.
His stand-up is maybe the most boring stand-up ever to me, but his movies are great.
I agree. His stand-ups are bad.
I don't know
and I therefore don't watch his movies because I don't.
The fact that he became a movie star based on his stand-up is an absolute mystery, but he is a super funny actor.
Agreed. He gets a lot more credit to me now that I've watched so much Patrice O'Neal, and I'm like, okay, well, Patrice his boy, so okay.
Meanwhile, on screen, we are watching Toxic Crusaders.
What are we watching?
I think this might have been based on a cartoon. I was going to ask if you guys remembered this at all. Toxic Crusaders.
It looks like they wanted to make a Ninja Turtles movie,
but got denied.
Nah, because really.
So does this guy live in the sewers and eat pizza?
He probably lived in a sewer that some radioactive slime was poured into, or maybe he lived in a van by the river. Where some toxic
down by the river.
So Yoshi gets in on the Tetris game for NES, where he matches different things and tries to make eggs with them. This is called Yoshi on the NES, just an attempt at a puzzle game.
I'm long gone from Nintendo at this point.
Yeah, we're all Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo at this point. This is who's buying NES games at this point. We saw this.
I never played Wario or any of that crap either.
We saw Darkwing Duck on NES, but it also had an appearance on TurboGrafx 16 with much better graphics, released this month. Not much to say here, just other than a nod to Darkwing Duck. And
shout out Darkwing Duck.
Yeah,
you ain't Chip and Dale, but shout out Darkwing Duck.
You're in the family, sort of.
Yeah.
Moving on to Sega Genesis, King Salmon.
Do you remember when this freaking game came out? I was like, what? What are y'all playing?
King Salmon.
What do y'all want to do?
I'm playing King Salmon.
I guess we will play it.
Let's take turns playing King Salmon. Spray the drag.
Maybe I don't remember this one. I remember when these fishing games came out, though.
Yeah, for some I feel like we've all tried a fishing game and always wondered why.
Why? Why are you playing this? This is horrible.
This is sort of. I've not seen not one fish caught as I skimmed through the footage of this game. Moving on.
Animal Crossing did it right.
Animal Crossing does it best. Yeah.
Never played it.
Missing out.
That's the only reason I bought the Wii.
That's interesting.
Was so I could have the new Animal Crossing.
Hey, and
the things that sell consoles.
Following up on our text conversation, Luigi's Mansion comes out this month on Nintendo Switch, and in the very beginning of next year, Animal Crossing comes out on the Nintendo Switch. So,
okay,
put it on your wish list.
What the heck is this?
This is a game licensed by McDonald's called Global Gladiators, a sequel to a game called MC Kids on the NES. This released on the Sega
sounds
Genesis.
familiar.
Yeah, you play
MC Kids. I remember that title.
Yeah. So it's a very different premise, this game, than the last one, but you play as the same two kids from the first game. I think they're called Mick and Mac or something like that. I don't know which one is which, but
it's not a bad looking game at all.
Yeah. And you would, if I were to just show you, random footage of it, other than this golden arches in the corner, where you're collecting, you know, McDonald's coupons, I guess, you would probably not know that it was any way related to McDonald's, but it is. Yeah. David,
Yeah, shout out to them. I've been giving.
David Robinson decided to get in on his on the basketball games on his own, you know.
Man, no thanks.
And I hope he got paid, is what I can say. I'm not sure if this game was fully
You're
licensed.
boring, David Robinson. I'm not playing your game. Is that why David Robinson? Boring game.
The Admiral.
The Admiral, Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. This game is not very good based on what we have just seen over the past couple months with things from EA
I'll give
Sports.
it credit. It really doesn't look bad.
The character models look kind of bad.
It looks like
Some David
they took
Robinson
Double
game.
Dribble. It's like they took the characters from Double Dribble and added a little bit more color to them.
I guess it's on the Sega Sports Network, so I'll give them a little bit of a pass just for it being an in-house game from Sega, if that's the case.
I'm gonna stand by it. Really does. But maybe I'd have to.
I'd really need to put you footage of this versus Bulls Blazers or something.
Yeah, add that in post production if you can.
I will do that.
Let's run a side by side right here. And I'm gonna say this doesn't look far off from that, and that the problem with this game is that even though David Robinson is a super nice guy and very worthy of respect, I actually remember this free throw system.
I was just about to say the same thing to you. It's like, I've played this game and I remember it because of the free throw system.
Yep. Yeah, I have played this. I totally remember that. All right, so still, it's in a world where Bulls versus Blazers or Bulls versus whatever exist, I'm not buying a David Robinson game.
Right. Bringing the arcade home, we have Smash TV for the Sega Genesis. Looking a little toned down for home consoles, but keeps the general theme of the arcades where you're just running around shooting everything. This sort of lent itself better to be an arcade game there because there's just not a lot of depth to it. Over on Super Nintendo, we have Faceball 2000. This game got a lot of magazine ad and commercial at the time. I really just remember the happy face more than anything.
Yeah, me too.
Game itself was a sort of a 3D view. Let's see, where you're kind of exploring mazes, apparently just shooting out tennis balls.
What is this? What is this?
Kind of looks like a worse version of that 3D game we looked at last month.
Yeah. It doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good at all. It looks bad enough to where I'm already done looking at it.
It's like somebody created a bad Flash game.
Based on the hit animated series, James Bond Jr. gets his own game.
Shout out to my boy James Bond. My best friend's name was James Bond, and my mom called him 003.5.
3.5. I like it. I can somewhat remember just the catchy Bond, James Bond Jr. from the intro to the animated series, that is all I remember about it, really.
I'm having a hard time picturing the show at all in my head right now, but I know that I didn't dislike it.
Same here. I feel like I didn't dislike it, but also it may have come on at a time where there was something better to do or watch. So I didn't see many episodes of it. Or, you know, what I always thought was, now that I'm grown up, I'm like, oh, it was for kids over on the West Coast or something. But you remember when we were young, there were cartoons that came on every morning on, you know, Fox or whatever. But we'd have to go to school. So
sure, some cartoons you just couldn't see.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, but we're only 10 minutes into He-Man and I got to go to school. So it was a particularly good episode. I mean, I'm not feeling well today. I gotta see what's gonna happen. Is he gonna be okay?
That's funny. I love you, man.
I didn't know until Netflix came out that the toys came before the cartoon.
I think
Is that
that,
right?
yeah, I think that was a very American thing. It's like we're gonna make these toys. We're gonna make a cartoon based on the toys. It's gonna work. Dino City for the Super NES.
Doesn't look bad.
Doesn't look bad. Boy and his dinosaur.
Never played it. Doesn't look bad.
If you enjoyed the Yoshi riding sections of Super Mario World, why not have a game where you only ride on the dinosaur?
I did not enjoy the Yoshi riding sections of Super Mario World.
Well, then maybe Dino City is not for you.
Because I did not enjoy Super Mario World.
Fair enough, because you were playing Sega Genesis. You were playing Sonic the Hedgehog.
I was playing Sonic the Hedgehog as well.
Well, I tip my hat to you guys for making a good decision.
I'll smoke anybody at Mario 1, 2, or 3, though.
Mario 2 was always my jam.
It's interesting that you would say that because there's an old YouTube channel called Mad and Men where we did a time trial with the original Super Mario Brothers. And I so happen to know the producer of that channel as well. Maybe I can pull up some footage.
Let's do it. Oh man, I think I lost that. I call it redo. Did I lose that?
It did not go great. I will say that. It did not go as great as you predicted. So
whatever. Let's do it again.
Okay.
I call a rematch.
We'll put it on the docket for Regeneration X, Wesley, Time Trials, Super Mario 1
versus Daniel and Kaz.
Okay, fair. I love it. A little.
Well, I've already lost.
NES Championship. Don't sell yourself short here, Kaz.
Don't sell yourself short
Yeah,
because I wet the.
I'll send you a link to the YouTube video, and you'll feel a little better.
Well, I've watched it. But I just remember how poor I used to be at. I was not speed in those games.
I never cared about points so much. Speed a little bit. All right, so the theme this month, having gone through these console games, is that there was a lot going on in the handheld world. So we had a couple releases on the Game Boy. Just the Game Boy. I wanted to follow that up with another words, but it was just Game Boy. So here we have Star Wars on the Game Boy. Not Star Wars subtitle, anything. This is just Star Wars. So what part of the franchise we're in here, I will leave to you two to decide based on the story that's being...
The Metroid part.
I can't remember this from the movie, but I haven't seen the original trilogy in a few years, so I could be missing.
Is he holding a blaster?
I believe you must be playing as Luke with a...
That looks like Luke, but why would he have a blaster?
Maybe he had a blaster at a couple parts, right? Before he... Oh man, there's a TIE fighter scene.
Alright, now he's got a saber.
Not terrible for a Game Boy game. Also released on Game Boy. Not that Star Wars is a comic, but we're staying in sort of the superhero realm. We have the Amazing Spider-Man. Looking dead on like Spider-Man.
Godly, I totally was like, okay, what is this ninja game? Nope, that's Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. Well, spoiler alert. That is Spider-Man. He's about to do something so cool here in just a second that I
totally gotten away with asking.
I gotta let this play out. So
what game is this?
You gotta see this. Here he is. He's riding this.
That's dope. He did that, bro. Did that? Get down here.
I'm not sure what's going
smack
on.
You around, so.
Not to be one-upped by Nintendo, though, Sega on the Game Gear is going to release their own Spider-Man game this month. And we're going to do a quick graphical comparison. So on Game Gear, you at least had a feeling that you were playing as a man dressed as Spider-Man.
Let's see if he's going to do
he looks
any
more like someone.
Spider-Man thing.
He looks.
He doesn't have any web.
I feel like, maybe you got your Spider-Man costume at the discount store, but he's not quite in the same physical shape as Spider-Man, but he is clearly dressed as Spider-Man. and can do front flips. Have seen
he can do front flips.
Zero webs.
He's got no web.
Doesn't
Well,
like
there's
he
just
has any
walks through
bones in
people.
his body either when he flips.
Combat with enemies apparently completely optional in this game. Front flipping not
Totally
optional.
optional. Just walk. Just walk through them.
Just flip. Flipped man returns.
What is that?
From
Can you die in this game?
no, you can only flip.
That's flipping
What is it
ridiculous.
doing?
From one superhero to another, we will move on to Batman Returns for the Sega Game Gear. Now this is clearly Batman at least. He's got a lot of batarangs.
Batarang.
There's a guy up above him who is shadow boxing.
Shadow boxing.
Oh, and there he is. He fooled you. You thought he was there, but he's there. Missed the days of regenerating enemies.
This is the one where, like, the more you level up, the further that Batarang goes.
Probably. We'll let Batman get a little deeper into the story and see. Oh, he gets better webs than Spider-Man. We've seen more swinging in this game.
DC stomping on Marvel yet again.
Oh man,
Because Batman had the utility belt.
Right, he had the grappling hook. I think there's some animal cruelty in this game though, because I just saw a penguin with a rocket attached to it. But Batman did leave him alone for what it's worth. Call the ASPCA. They're having a month as it is. I believe this must be your final boss. We fight Penguin in the Duckmobile. And there you go. So, but also, lest we not forget, Atari was still decently in play at this point with the Atari Lynx, and they had a Batman game of their own on the Atari Lynx. So here we have a man who is dressed mostly like Batman, except for whatever's going on with his face. But yeah, so here is a retelling, if you will, of the Batman story on the Atari Lynx. Things are going.
I guess
well
back in the
behind him.
90s, they didn't have to sign exclusive contracts with a certain.
I believe the exclusivity back then was the DC or whoever, Warner Brothers, probably could sign this out to whoever they wanted, and then for the consoles themselves, we would say, well, we will make a Batman game, and we promise not to make this Batman game on any other system. And finally, since we were releasing it, or we were talking about the Atari Lynx, we do have a football game that I thought my old Madden men compatriots would like to take a look at the graphical powerhouse that was the Atari Lynx. You could select between these 5 teams, and this rivals anything you could do today. Where you didn't select a receiver, you aimed a reticle.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah. Constant zoom in, zoom out. Big props to whoever made this video as actually being able to complete a pass at all. There you have it.
Did you try that? Is it difficult?
Oh no, I did not try it. This is just some footage from our good friend Glitcho Gaming.
Glitcher.
Who has played an extensive amount of NFL football on the Atari Lynx so that we didn't have to.
Right on. Ho did that, so hopefully you won't have to go through that.
Well, there you have it. Oh no, I'm sorry. I've got one more on the Atari Lynx. Dirty Larry, Renegade Cop.
Guaranteed to be funny. Guaranteed to be funny. Look at this fool.
Dirty Harry license denied. All we got to do is change that letter. We can make this work.
There you go. Make it happen, Captain.
We join our hero at the office of his chief getting yelled at. Oh man, they've even got the tropes. Mr. Snuff is the villain. Let's see a little footage of our pal Dirty Larry in combat.
Trash. Where the hell did they go? Where did they go?
Well,
Where did they go?
clearly, you've never defeated someone in a battle of fisticuffs.
Why is he fighting that giant old biker and all of his mutant clones?
And getting just kicked in the ribs, but he's got a machine. Now I have
He's
a
got
machine
a machine gun in this coat. Y'all keep playing. Keep sending these old men after
I
me.
want to see him shoot
I'm
someone.
gonna start spraying fools.
Somebody's getting shot. Oh, brought a knife to a gunfight.
Oh my
When
God.
someone shoots at you,
It
the
takes
best
more than one
defense is
punch
to
kill a
jump.
Jamaican.
Just jump over the bullets.
Jump over the
I don't know
bullets
why
and then
there's so
punch
much
him
gun
until he
violence.
disappears.
Just jump over the bullets.
Take this gun.
All right, and now I am done with the gaming segment of September 1992. Dirty Larry, Renegade Cop.
Hey, Larry, do something useful.
Dadgummit, Larry. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody is ready to put their thinking hats on and start guessing what movies came out in October of 1992. But first, let's hear a word from this week's sponsors. This week's one-star review is brought to you by Crystal Pepsi. Have you ever wondered how bad soda water could taste? The fine people at Pepsi did. I imagine the board meetings were going something like this. Coke is kicking our butt at everything. What if we try a gimmicky clear soda? We can make some catchy advertisements, and the kids will eat it up because it'll be new and cool. It has to work better than New Coke did, right? Crystal Pepsi's commercial used the Van Halen song Right Now, which was fitting because if you didn't go buy one right now, they might be gone tomorrow. Crystal Pepsi, the taste of no generation.
So, how many times did you try it? I feel like someone was a fan. Somebody in our circle was a fan.
I'm gonna go in the neighborhood of several.
I kept trying it, thinking it would get better. But I didn't miss it when it was gone.
I'm gonna be that weirdo that says I liked it.
I'm gonna say like multiple people liked it.
But
I've never been a cola guy. Like I wasn't a cola guy at all back then. It was like orange sodas and peach sodas and grape sodas for me. Cola didn't happen until I got older.
They brought this back within the last couple of years, didn't they? For a brief time.
Sounds right.
I think.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right, runner. Crystal Pepsi. That was the thing.
Yeah.
Dropping in some water.
Related. I'm absolutely distraught that for Stranger Things season 3, Coke re-released New Coke, and as far as I know, you could only order it from a website or something. So I never got to try it, and I'm sure it's long gone by now.
I didn't get to try it either. It was way up high on my to-do list too. Like, I wish they would sell it or have a vending where you could taste it when you go to the Coke Museum in Atlanta, because I would keep going back to taste it.
I expected a run of it at Target.
Yeah, that should be a thing.
But no.
Yeah, the Coke Museum should. I
All
just
right.
threw away my Coke Museum bottle.
So this week, trying a little bit different format, I'm going to give you guys 3 clues or 3 reviews. If you want, we can wait till we get all the way through the reviews before you guys make a guess. That way we get to hear all 3 reviews. And I tried to sort them so the reviews get a little bit more telling with each review, but each review should have some type of hint to help you guess what the movie is.
Cool.
Excellent. We're ready.
Okay.
Dominate.
Leonard D. said, pretty much the Bad News Bears of the 90s.
I'm ready at the end with my guess already.
You've already got a guess loaded.
Right.
All right. In another of his, this is from Gordon B. In another of his emotionally blistering performances, the lead actor plays a cynical grown-up whose cold heart is warmed by coaching a kids' sports team. Only this time it's hockey instead of baseball or soccer or the 20 other times we've seen this stuff.
Go for it, Daniel.
Oh, we got one more review, but
We got one more.
All right.
We got this one.
Okay. Yeah.
And you gotta let me read this because this is from my repeat reviewer, our good friend Justin O.
Justin O.
A nice, charming sports movie that definitely wasn't good enough to warrant 2 sequels and an actual NHL team.
Right.
Did they get an actual NHL team?
Anaheim.
Oh, wow.
Anaheim Ducks.
The Mighty Ducks. Emilio giving one of his riveting performances.
Yeah. The Mighty Doug Man himself.
All right. So, Mighty Ducks, a movie that I think I've never seen. How about that?
I had some younger cousins. I didn't really get into this, but I had some younger cousins that they were 100% into this, to the point where they were buying hockey sticks and goals and playing in their backyard in the dirt.
0% ever. 0 times ever have I been interested in playing hockey. I don't think I've ever watched this.
I know I've watched at least the first one, but maybe only the first one.
I've seen pieces of it.
And
maybe I have. I just didn't remember. I don't remember it.
I bet I liked it in 1992 or so or 1993 when I rented it. I'm sure I liked it.
You don't remember it as fondly as you remember Three Ninjas, though.
Ooh, that's a toss-up on which movie I'd rather watch between Mighty Ducks and
That
Three
is a good
Ninjas.
toss-up. How about that? Mighty Ducks or Three Ninjas? Which one would you rather?
Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks, yeah.
Because it's cooler, or because you're genuinely in Mighty Ducks?
Because I'm genuinely disinterested in Three Ninjas.
Sure. I don't have much argument.
All right. Our next review, our next movie, our reviewer Alex W. said, classic 90s action movie that wants to be Die Hard so bad. The lead in this movie lacks the personality or physicality of Bruce Willis, and he would never be allowed to take his shirt off in movies these days.
Well, we know who we're not talking about.
The actor playing the villain is having fun as a villain that's a precursor for his Two-Face. It's not so stupid that it's flat out bad, but it's never great, so it's not good to watch as a good or bad movie.
I gotta guess.
You gotta guess. All right.
Starts with an F.
Maybe the rating of the movie, but not the title of the movie.
All right, cool. Okay, good. That's all.
All right. So our next review is Xander K. Yes, so I watched this movie, enough of it at least, while on a bus traveling from Guatemala to El Salvador. It was dubbed into Spanish with English subtitles. It was pretty crappy. I mean, the villain is somewhat entertaining as a crazy villain, but the lead is the lead. And the Playboy girl has big fake boobies.
Playboy girl.
Now I have a guess.
You already got it? Okay.
All right. If you don't know what it is,
that I got it because of that.
If you don't know what it is, I'm pretty sure Rod E is going to just slam the door on this one. You've got Busey, you've got Tommy Lee Jones, you've got Voodoo Child blasting, and you've got a topless woman jumping out of a cake.
Her name's Erica Eleniak, by the way.
But at the beginning, middle, and end of the day, it's just a crappy Steven Seagal movie.
I still don't have it.
I know it. I'm so embarrassed that I know it all because of the girl jumping out of the cake. This movie is Under Siege.
Under Siege, that is correct.
All right. So the Harrison Ford thing still threw me because for whatever reason I had The Fugitive in my head.
It's Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Wasn't he chasing him?
Yeah, that's right. They were in that together. Yeah. So.
He was the marshal, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah. That's okay. Now I understand The Fugitive. Yes, got it. Yeah.
I thought the Two-Face was going to give it away with the Batman.
Okay.
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones was Two-Face in one of those later Batmans.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep, that's where I went to Fugitive. I just don't remember Under Siege. That's funny. And it had a moment for young Daniel.
Yeah,
Boing.
man. The fact that I
I
still,
remember
27 years on, I still know Erica Eleniak's name.
I remember liking this movie when I first saw it. I think I've only seen it once or twice, but I'm wondering if I only like it because of the cake scene.
Oh, put the scene on the screen because I don't remember it.
Oh yeah, I don't. You'll get taken off of YouTube if you put the scene on the screen.
Is that right?
I'm gonna have to find a version of it on YouTube. And
does she get full on booby action happening?
In the movie, she's completely nude. Oh, there. See, there you get a idea. Let me give you an idea. Oh, is she on Baywatch?
Oh, that's her, the Baywatch chick.
Okay, that's her.
Yeah, she was like knocked unconscious or fell asleep or something in the cake and just pops out at some random time after the ship's already been taken over.
This must be from the there's Busey and Tommy Lee Jones. And
God.
All right.
She looks super uncomfortable, and it makes me uncomfortable watching it. But I'm going to guess that maybe it was because she was on a boat and was having trouble, maybe? Or is this just acting from the movie? Yeah.
Oh, wow. YouTube really went a little further than I expected with that. All right.
What?
We may have to black this out. There you go. Erica Eleniak. I love these camera angles. This is great.
Why don't I remember any of that? Like, I kind of remember her dancing in that cake.
That I only remember the cake scene, so whatever provocative film she went on to do after this.
Is that not all from the same movie?
Nah, I mean, I don't remember anything other than the cake from.
I don't remember anything other than the cake either.
92 Daniel would have loved to have known about these other movies.
Okay. Yep.
If only there was YouTube or iMDB.
Right.
All right. This next movie, I don't know if I've ever actually seen this movie, so I don't know if you guys will guess it. It's a popular movie. Scored high on the Rotten Tomato meter. So, Sam Fan R says, I rarely disagree with Tomato Meter, but here I've found the film boring. Maybe because I don't really dig period films, especially the acting style and direction. The cinematography is unarguably beautiful anyway.
Ugh, this is going to be one that I may not have ever seen based on this description.
Yeah. So let's see if Lissy D helps any. What an absolute snorefest. Nothing brilliant to talk about, with Pitt being the film's only redeeming feature.
Legends of the Fall.
Oh.
No, not Legends of the Fall. You're on the right track. All right. Katrina W. Very slow moving. I found it hard to see where it was going. It really meanders through a fairly uneventful life of two sons and their father hinged together on their love of fly fishing. Brad's acting was great in this one.
A river runs through it.
A river runs through it. That is correct.
Okay, good. I was just going to guess the same thing again. Legends of the Fall. Because in my mind, that's the same movie. It's the same movie in my mind.
Yeah, I'm very impressed, Wes, because I wouldn't have been able to guess that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not. Yeah, okay, whatever. I've never seen it. Right? Random name, water from back then that maybe had Brad Pitt in it. Okay.
It's a movie
Cheers
about
to me.
fishing.
Give myself a gold star.
Yeah.
Silver star. Yeah, I'm not watching a movie about fishing. Is that really what it's about? Then super slow. Right. I'm good.
Yeah, it's about them fly fishing in a river.
Nah, I'm good.
No thanks. I'll just play King Salmon.
Right? If I don't want to play a game about fishing.
So that was our 1-star review for the month of October 1992.
Excellent. And we will take a look at those and other movies on our at the theaters next month. But in the theaters this month, we got a film that only opened in 37 theaters, but grossed almost as much as the next movie on the charts that opened in 700. So
Hey, South Central, you're OG Killer Bobby.
There you
You're
go.
OG Killer Bobby Johnson. A new car for Ray Ray. Put that potato on it. Oh my God, South Central is the movie.
Bobby, you didn't.
It was a tough movie.
Right now, and I'll cut you a soft deal.
Yeah,
The
was a
the
classic.
90s did very good with this genre of movie, though. They made some very good movies.
Yeah.
Off of the, you can say off of the strength of Boys in the Hood, you legitimize these movies. I don't know what kind of genre.
What do you call this? I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't want to say urban, but
Uh,
I mean,
you know, South Central. I guess sort of just that's the genre. Like you'd call what like you'd call some things a mafia movie. This is it's not a gang movie. It's not really.
Would you call it a gangster
This
movie?
is a gang. Yeah, this is totally a gang movie.
Yeah, would you call this a gangster movie or?
And it's a gang movie. But yeah, it's gangster. It's gangster. Yeah, it's totally a gang movie.
What's this?
You're OG Killer Bobby Johnson? OG Bobby Johnson. That was the scene, bro. I wanted to be him so bad.
What's this guy's name?
I don't know.
This
I don't know either.
I've seen him.
They're both good actors
Seen him in too many things to not know his name.
with successful careers, but I don't know their
Right.
names.
Put the gun down. Am I watching? Is this a trailer? For goodness sake! Let's just give me the Cliff Notes version of this.
Yeah, this is horrible. It's the entire end of the movie. Like this, seriously, the end of the movie.
Yeah, either the previews were terrible in the 90s.
That was listed as a
Or-
trailer, just for what it's worth.
Yeah, the trailers, or these people are making their own trailers and posting them.
Yeah, that was
I
trash.
like my trailers to leave a little bit out. But hey,
Something to the imagination.
spoiler
Always
alert.
leave them wanting more.
We're doing spoilers for 92 movies. Here we have Matthew Broderick, who I'm a big fan of.
You are a big fan, or
Yeah,
or
oh
not?
yeah, I think he's great. He's great. Ferris Bueller,
Yeah.
you know, from there, just a decent career, you know.
Decent career. He's not bad.
Trying to think of the name of the movie with him and Reese Witherspoon, Election or something like that. That's a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. He's the teacher.
Yeah.
And he's married to who we talked about last week, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh yes. Hey, John C. Reilly. Wow, that's a young.
What movie is this?
This is called Out on a Limb. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I remember.
But again, not to take anything away from this movie, but big props to South Central, which grossed, I mean, within a few $100 as much as Out on a Limb, being released in 650 less theaters. So impressive.
Sure.
Yeah,
that one had a decent cast.
It is September, so October is upon us, and I almost didn't include this one, but I this is probably going to be my only chance to reference the Hellraiser movies. So
this was a good one. This is one of the first. I mean, it wasn't. I didn't hate it either. That was one of the first horror movies I went to the theater and saw in a long time.
I never.
My first one, Child's Play, but I don't think I went to the theater and watched another one until this.
I never saw any of these in the theater. I've seen one of these ever. Couldn't even tell you which one. Something between 2 and 4. Creepy movies. Those Cenobites or whatever that his minions that come after people. Those are super creepy.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen this entire movie.
You said you haven't, or you have?
No, I'm not too big on the horror genre though.
I'm not big on. I like suspense and creepy stuff, but anything that's like gory or whatever you'd call this genre.
God, I remember this.
I usually stay away from it.
Yeah, I don't like watching people get hurt.
Yeah, we went to the movies and watched it.
Yeah, these things,
I remember
these creepy nightmare things.
Did you go to the movies with us and watch this, Daniel?
Definitely not. I wouldn't have been able to handle that.
Yeah, I know me and Derek went.
This
and
would
I'm
have been.
pretty sure
This was
of
like a year before we met.
who
Anyway,
we went with. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This is the year before we met. But Derek and I went. We met some girls.
Man, this is a rated R trailer. It's just too graphic for.
The movie was wild. It was unnerving for me that night going to sleep. I do remember that. It was unnerving for a while. That DVD or that CD thing where the guy gets impaled with the CDs was kind of a problem for me.
I've met Clive Barker, and he is simultaneously super cool, super charismatic, and super like you get these weird vibes from him, like creepy vibes the whole time, like you've met the devil himself or something when you meet him.
Like sure.
Yeah.
Billy Crystal, I love, bro.
Mr. Saturday Night is the name of this.
Little Wrong.
True.
I've never seen this, but
I don't think I have either.
I remember when it came up.
Yeah, I remember the trailer.
Yeah, I thought he was like just useless to my life, and I would never find.
You have to grow up a little to appreciate him, don't you?
Maybe.
City Slickers was good the first, when we were teenagers.
Yep, that was my introduction to him. So I've liked him since being a teenager because of City Slickers.
He was,
and then that allowed me to give other movies a chance, which I love. And where Harry Met Sally is in my top.
I was actually just about to go there, like when Harry Met Sally's getting all this reverence back then, and I watch it and I'm like, this is the most boring movie I've ever seen ever.
Right.
But that's as a 12 or 13-year-old, I feel that way. I've actually never revisited it. So
is that right?
Yeah. So may feel.
Yeah, I've got no problem sitting through When Harry Met Sally with anyone. It doesn't have to be Amy. I say that fully knowing that it's a romantic movie. I'll sit down and with a big bottle of wine and some popcorn and watch that shit. Watch it with you. I love that movie.
Well, let's do it.
It's my New Year's Day movie. I love
it. Is it? All right.
Sally. It is a genius. I think a genius romantic comedy. Nothing better. No romantic comedy is better.
Wow. Big talk. I'm gonna have to give it a shot.
Yeah. Not even You Got Mail?
I was about to say, with all due respect to Tom Hanks, not a single one of those movies. Billy Crystal is the king of romantic comedies to me. When Harry Met Sally, Forget Paris, and
The Princess Bride?
No.
It is a romantic comedy, and it does have Billy Crystal.
Fair enough. There's another one. But whatever, I love Billy Crystal. So I'll watch Mr. Saturday Night at some point.
Here's a movie with the worst last few lines in all of movie history.
I remember this. What is this mess? He plays for Harvard.
Brendan Fraser is the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Right.
Oh, there's that guy. There's going to be some shenanigans from him. I didn't realize this movie's setting was so,
Oh, this is the one we were just talking about.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. It's supposed to be like just terrible. and something about the ending of it is not good based on the 1-star reviews.
That guy, I have seen this. This is a good cast. That other guy who plays the leader of the white racist in Higher Learning, he's a good actor also.
I keep feeling like there's going to be a twist here somewhere, right? Like
that's it right there, I think, right?
Why wouldn't St. Luke's have taken him?
Because he's Jewish. That's what it was. Yeah, I remember that.
That's right. We got to talk about.
I totally remember this movie.
Like what? He's Jewish, but I like.
We did talk about this. We totally did. I 100% remember this movie. Seeing it now.
It doesn't it like just feed right into our conversation about like how weird it was to be, well, how weird it is to be racist, period, but how white people could be racist against Jewish people.
Right.
When it's almost undiscernible half the time, in my opinion.
Is Brendan Fraser a Jew for real?
Maybe not. It may, if he's not, then that would maybe
Cultural appropriation. I totally remember this. That's funny.
How can 20-year-olds at university be this racist against anyone?
Oh, that's totally a thing because they're taught that by their parents.
I know, but it's like you don't even. Yeah, I know, but you know what I'm saying. Like you don't even have any life experience to base this racism on.
Right.
Like it's fueled by absolute nothing. Here's a movie that was
the problem is that
which
life
is
experience
yeah,
cures it.
right. That's true. That's true. And that's really the only cure for it in most cases, isn't it? This was a big deal, I remember, and I've never seen it. It was blah like romantic. Bridget Fonda, Matt Dillon.
That's Bridget Fonda. Okay.
Yeah, who was just in the theaters last month in A Single White Female, right?
Maybe, I don't know. Was she?
Bridget Fonda and Jennifer Jason Leigh, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they needed a new generation of leading ladies. Is what this is telling me. This is Singles, which is like the punk rock alternative to When Harry Met Sally, I believe.
Yeah, no, this mess looks corny.
Isn't this great?
Speaking of corny,
Open ocean, uncharted islands. Who knows what's waiting for us out
here's a
there?
little Kurt Russell for you. Oh, and it doesn't get any cornier than anything with Martin Short.
I'm good.
You can pass on Captain Ron.
Oh, that is Captain Ron. That's totally Captain Ron.
My thing is, and forgive me if you guys are a fan, I'm just not a Martin Short fan.
I'm not a Martin Short fan, and I could care less about Kurt Russell. I don't dislike him, but I'm definitely not a Martin.
I feel like I'm like Kurt Russell. I'm just, to me, is just living on Big Trouble in Little China, being what I remember a fun movie.
Sure.
But this is also, I don't do good with like there's a movie like this, like Money Pit with Tom Hanks, like that movie where Ben Stiller and Drew Barrymore are like living. Oh, Duplex is the name of the movie. Any of those movies where it's like the lead character is just having nothing but anxiety,
where bad things keep happening to him.
I start feeling it, and I can't laugh, I can't have fun with it. All I can do is just be like anxious and miserable for them.
That's why I can't watch Ben Stiller movies. I can't watch any Ben Stiller movies.
Because he's just awkward and a tragic case the entire time, and your empathy won't allow you to.
Yeah. I can't laugh at him. I'm just like feeling so terrible. I'm like, please, I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I can't handle it. There's some things that I can't handle like that, where I have to turn it off and go back to it all the time. That happens to me a lot with that show, Curb Your Enthusiasm. I swear I pause it 2 or 3 times an episode where I'm just too embarrassed to go on.
When you think of computer hackers, there are a couple names that really come to mind. Robert Redford and Dan Aykroyd are probably a couple of those names. This is a movie about those names in computer hacking called Sneakers.
Oh yeah, totally. Not to be confused with Slither, which I used to confuse all the time back in the day.
That would be,
for whatever reason.
That would be a quite a mix-up.
It is quite a mix-up because I want to say that's how I ended up watching Slither the first time.
Slither's like an erotic thriller, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is.
Well, you were probably much better off for watching Slither.
I'm going to say I was definitely much better off because there is a tool that's in my tool belt that came directly from that movie.
Oh, we'll have to learn about this at some point.
Sure, it'll come up at some point. That's what she said.
Oh my god. And your #1 movie of September 1992.
Speaking of cultural appropriation.
It's not as I imagined it would be, thinking of it in Boston.
Frontier is the only land available to people. Out here they're beholden to none.
Who is any of these people?
As a new land was being carved out of an
Oh my gosh. I think the silence between the three of us just really expresses the level of
lack of interest.
Yeah, level of boredom that we have for this kind of movie.
Yes. Might as well just go watch somebody fly fish.
Okay, so
I'll just play Dino
fully
City.
honest, I've watched it. I didn't hate it. I've watched it and I didn't hate it.
It was 3 hours long before 3-hour movies were cool.
I got wasted one night. I remember like being wasted, laying in my bedroom back when I would like have it wasted in my bedroom watching this movie. I have a clear memory of me like with my back against the bed, sitting through this movie.
Did it make it any better?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I'll sit there with my cigar, my drink, and watch movies. You know what I mean? Whatever. Or grab a bottle of wine. This would have been right around the time I was getting it. So let's say early 2000s, around 2003, I probably watched this. She's really pretty.
She is really pretty. And that's all I've got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that. Yeah, for sure.
It's gonna be big. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna be live. It's the 1992 Billboard Music Awards. Scheduled to appear Garth Brooks, U2, Genesis, Guns N' Roses, Criss Cross, and many more. Join host Phil Collins for the 1992 Billboard Music Awards. Live Wednesday on Fox.
It is now time to take a look at the music of September 1992. And I'd like to give a quick nod to the hip-hop history of 1992, a new segment that is going to be fleshed out in the near future. But you have anything for us? You have anything for us this week in hip-hop history, this month of September of 1992?
Yep, so I'll tell you what, gang, what we're going to do. Fellas, at the start of this show, I kind of gave a RIP to Phoenicia Keith, who, again, I'm going to say, Phoenicia, we love you, and you'll be dearly, dearly missed. So I didn't really prepare for this segment the way that I wanted to this week. But ultimately, what we're going to do is just kind of go through the albums that came out in the month that we're covering. So with that said, September 1992, on September 1st, we've got Chubb Rock's I Gotta Get Mine, Yo. This was Chubb Rock's 4th full-length album release, and the album was entirely produced by Chubb Rock himself, and notably by the Trackmasters. Trackmasters are legends, right? Trackmasters are just legit legends. Not much to say about this one. I'm going to try and be honest when it comes to my memory of a lot of these albums, because I love hip-hop, but I can't lie and misrepresent who I was at the time. I don't remember this one, didn't listen to it that I can remember. You guys have any thoughts on it?
Honestly, no.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Sure. But, whatever. Shout out to Chubb Rock, who's a name in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a familiar name in the game.
No doubt. All right. Up next, we got Big Mello. Came out with Bone Hard Zaggin'. All right, so Bone Hard Zaggin' is the debut studio album of Big Mello. He's out of Houston. He was on Rap-A-Lot. This is actually a pretty good month for Rap-A-Lot. So shout out to them, shout out to him. Hope life is good for you. Anyone watching this, feel free to drop a comment if you feel like we need to put some respect on these MCs' names, because I don't remember the bro, but he has an album, and I'm assuming has some fans. All right. Up next, we've got a name that we're all going to recognize. Bushwick Bill's first album, Little Big Man.
Oh, wow.
Bushwick Bill, famously from the group Ghetto Boys.
Ghetto Boys, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. And Ghetto Boys were a thing. So the last artist there was on Rap-A-Lot. And Bushwick Bill, also a Rap-A-Lot MC representing Houston. We've got Little Big Man. When I was going to listen to some of the music from the album, first of all, let me say, Bill could spit for for the time, and I sure I liked it a lot more back then than I did now. I don't know, it's not really my vibe right now because it's a little grimier than my life has to be at the moment. I know that a lot of the stories that are told in his album are real and represent what life was for a lot of people back then, but in general. It's not my life now, and it misses me more than it did back then, but I loved it back. Shout out to Bill and the Ghetto Boys. So, and let's see, songs to note from this one, Little Big Man album title, and one of the better songs from it. Check that one out if you guys get an opportunity, because it's kind of a good representation of the album itself. All right. After that, we got Willie D with I'm Going Out Like a Soldier. All right, I'm Going Out Like a Soldier by Willie D. This is a revolutionary, really. The song to note from this one, Rodney K. Rodney K for Rodney King. And Rodney King in this album, or in this song, is addressed as a sellout. If you remember, like with the whole, right on.
This is timely too. This is,
we all get along and all that? Oh,
this is fresh.
Hard on Rodney King. He goes in hard on Rodney King, and Rodney King does not survive this song. I'll just say that. If you get an opportunity, take a listen. It has a Dead Prez kind of a vibe. For those that know, early on, Dead Prez, lacking a smoother way of saying this, was pretty racist against white people. They were.
It is what it is sometimes.
It is what it is. You know what I mean? They were young, poor black kids from New York for Dead Prez. This guy, I'm not sure where he's from. I'm going to guess out west because of the passion with which he's rapping about the riots and all that. But maybe not. The album was released after a fallout with Ghetto Boys. Yeah, this was another guy who was on Rap-A-Lot for a minute. So he did some work with Ghetto Boys as well. Again, big month for Rap-A-Lot. I don't think it was released under Rap-A-Lot. Yeah, it was. It was even released under Rap-A-Lot. 3 albums so far released by them. But it's worth a listen just to get a respect for the more aggressive and angry aspect of race relations, specifically related to the riots and all of that, from not the hippie perspective. Kind of a cool thing. And then several of the songs are good. Another song on the album, Go Back to School, is addressing kids skipping school and throwing their lives away, and a message worthy of note. So I wish I listened to it back in the day, but I didn't. I listen to it now, and it's good and worthy of going back and checking out. All right. Up next, we've got JT the Bigger Figure, who's also a name in the game, with Don't Stop Till We Major. This is the debut album for him. He's coming off of, what's your record label? Lil Daddy Records. Don't have much to say about JT, but I remember the name. He's had a career, so shout out to him. All right. After him, we've got Public Enemy, right?
No.
Legends.
One of my favorites, yeah.
For sure. Legends in the game. This month they dropped a compilation album. It was released in '92. It included previously unreleased outtakes and remixes of previously released songs, and a live British TV performance. So just kind of a greatest hits album for them. All right. After Public Enemy, we've got RBL Posse, A Lesson to Be Learned. This one released September 16th under In a Minute Records. I don't remember them. It's the debut album produced by Black C, DJ Switch, and TC. A Lesson to Be Learned gained mild success, peaking at number 60 on the top R&B and hip-hop albums. Back then, R&B and hip-hop were one genre and had to compete with each other. Thank God that changed.
Yeah, despite being completely different.
Right, no doubt. After that, we got The Lynch Mob, again, a name that we all sure. This is their debut album. This was under the label Street Knowledge. Several good songs there. It hit gold certification and worthy of review. The big singles from that one were Gorillas and Freedom Got an AK. So yeah, that one I remember for sure. All right. And then for my money, the gem of September was Redman's What album, right? This is the introduction to Redman. Redman is still considered one of the best MCs of all time. So debut of Redman, you get with this one, Blow Your Mind, Time for Some Action, Tonight's the Night, and Superman Lover, which was, I don't know, a classic for me, one of my favorite songs of all time. So shout out to Redman, he's a GOAT and a legend in the game. You can't make a top 20 list. Easy, he should be on everyone's top 20 MCs list. If he's not, then you get no respect from me.
Where are we at where are we at in Wu-Tang chronologic history at this point? When Redman's putting out this, I mean, they all put out great. I would say they all, as far as I know, every single one of them had multiple solo albums that were very good. I'm a big Method Man fan. Of course, it's easy to be a Method Man fan because he's great, but
because he's the one.
Yeah, but were they already any amount of albums deep as a collective at that point?
Okay, so common misconception that Redman is a part of the Wu-Tang Clan.
Boom! I just got. All right.
Yeah, well, it's all good. It's a very common misconception. He and Meth were so close that people kind of associated them together. But this is before even they've linked up, I think, because again, this is his debut, and he was actually, what was Method Man's crew? Method Man is with, what can I think of his? He's got a different crew. But it's not Wu-Tang Clan. It's going to come to me and I'm going to randomly say it in a little bit. But Redman had his own thing going. He got 4.5 mics in The Source. And this was back when The Source was a reputable magazine. Right. I can't say enough about this album. And yeah, again, easily the jewel of September 92. This was a pretty big month for hip hop. I've been preparing for this segment for the past couple of weeks, and this is by far the biggest list of albums, which of course happens on a week like this. But up next, we've got Stunts, Blunts, and Hip Hop. This is by Diamond D. No idea who the bro is, but it's his debut album. I wish him nothing but success in his life. This is off of the label Chemistry Mercury Polygram Records. All right, no singles of note here listed. Best kept secret, actually, Sally Got a One-Track Mind and What You Heard. Actually, Sally Got a One-Track Mind sounds familiar.
That sounds really familiar.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I may have to go back and take a look. All right, 2 more albums to go. No, that's not true. 3 more. Up next, we got Showbiz and AG. Showbiz and AG released Runaway Slave. It's their debut album. Let's see. They are members of a legendary DITC. The album is now out of print. All right, so I guess we can't get a copy of it, which probably means that there's some value to it as well. This is under the label Payday London Polygram Records, so it's kind of a series of people. So looks like they were maybe tossed around as an act. Singles of note, anything? Yeah, we got Bounce to This and Fat Pockets.
Runaway Slave.
Runaway Slave. Yeah, I know that. Okay, I'm down.
Given the 10-second clip there, it sounded good.
Nice. All right, up next, let's get back out to the West Coast. We got Compton's Most Wanted. Compton's Most Wanted, Music to Drive By, 3rd studio album by the group Compton's Most Wanted. This was under the label Orpheus Records, Epic, and Sony. I'm assuming, let's call those distribution groups. Producers, The Unknown DJ, DJ Slip, MC8, shout out to MC8, Master Rick Rock, and DJ Mike T. Album peaked at number 66 on the Billboard 200. A lot of sample credits here listed. 66 on the Billboard 200, 20. Shout out to Compton's Most Wanted. All right, and then finally we'll wrap up this bit with Lighter Shade of Brown.
I remember
their
that
album, yeah, right on. Their album Hip Hop Locos. This was one of the last ones I listened to in prep for this. Let's see. Label was Quality Records. A couple of samples of note. No singles of note listed. No peak positions or anything. But those are the albums that came out. This segment will morph and get a little bit better. But I got to shout out to the culture, man. We've been wanting to do for a while now, and God, just the love in my heart that I have for hip hop. Hip hop is the thing that moves me. It's the way that I move through life. The way that my kids and family move through life for the most part. Not necessarily Amy, but my daughters for sure. It's good to know when I see them that the culture lives strong in them, even down here in Alabama and all over. The way that, not just rap, because hip hop isn't just rap, but the way the culture has put its footprint on the planet, and you know your people when you see them. I couldn't talk about the 90s without shouting out the culture, and this is right around when that seed was planted in me, and you guys as well. I'm not making this just about myself. You guys as well, because we were in this together. A lot of my initial experiences are the experiences with rap that I went through around this time. You guys were a part of, which is again a testament to the culture that it was hitting us in little backwoods Alabama. So hopefully this morphs into something that we can be proud of and look back on the culture with fondness and appreciate where we're at now in 2000. So that's that for hip hop in September 92.
Very well done, and it deserves a spotlight because there's a sort of a barrier to entry into the top 40 that we look at every week, and for various reasons it's gonna rest, some really good gems are gonna rest outside of what was gonna catch a lot of radio or video play then. That is less of a problem now as the filter is completely removed here in modern times, but some really good songs are going to get left out of the top 40, so we'd be remiss to not take a deeper look into some of these things.
Sure, and while we're going through that, let me also acknowledge a lot of these songs, when we have for real memories of them, put some extra respect on those artists, particularly like underground ones, when you realize that this caught some 13-year-olds in backwoods Alabama, right? That some guys maybe in a little apartment in Brooklyn or Seattle or Los Angeles or God knows where they're at, sometimes overseas in basements all over the place, were able to reach backwoods Beulah, Alabama. And again, that's a testament to the culture.
Absolutely. Looking forward to the next few years, especially as I got more and more into the various types of hip hop and rap music. Really interested to maybe throw a few out there, kind of like the videos that we watch where we're like, oh yeah, I remember that song. Some of these guys were technically no hit wonders if you qualify hit as top one Billboard 100 or something like that, but maybe made one music video over the course of 4 or 5 years. So that was your one chance to find them. And there were several groups that we each liked that no one else had even heard of. So it'll be fun if we can come across a few of those.
Sure. And fair warning, Cass, Daniel, be prepared. You will be asked to spit some of your favorite verses from time to time. You're warned.
Nice.
I can't wait. Although I'm going to have to start working on my radio edits for some of my guys. And
that's the jewel of the 90s as well.
That is the jewel of the 90s, that got like the big names like Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, actually would record a completely alternate track for radio play. None of the beeping or muting. Like they would just replace the words, and I always thought that was very smart, you know, on a business standpoint, but also very clever that they were able to find alternate rhymes to make the verses work and still keep the theme.
Sometimes record two different.
Yeah, like you still want to keep the message, but make it PG at the same time.
Sure.
Well,
what else you got for us?
Let's get into the top 40 of September 1992 with a man who you dropped his name recently and you're off, but here he is on the charts. Restless Heart by Peter Cetera. Now, there's no Karate Kid video, or there's no Karate Kid movie in 92, but there is a Peter Cetera song.
That voice, it's still the same voice. So.
It's if you hear one Peter Cetera song, you're pretty much Yumiko and Daniel San running across a beach, right?
Yeah, I actually do like this song. I remember that.
You guys got my truck.
It does have your truck on.
I miss Casper, the friendly truck.
No doubt.
I
That was
do
a cool
too.
truck. Yeah, for all those concerned, that is that it? That's not. Those windows on the side.
It's close. It's a little different,
really
but it's close.
Yeah, it's the 3-window Chevy that I had. That had the 3 back windows.
No doubt. Kicker solo barracks in there.
No, I could only get 8s because there's really no room in the cab. The gas tank is behind the seat, so I had to put 2 Cadence 8s that I stole, bought before Daniel could buy them, and put them on top of the gas tank. So we're talking safety first here.
No doubt.
All is fair in love and in bass. So if you stole them out from under me, then respect. You made a good move.
Who is this?
This is a one-hit wonder as far as I know. This is the name of the song is Divine Thing, and I remember it. And the band is called the Soup Dragons.
The Soup Dragons?
Soup Dragons.
It's a cool name. You do anything with dragons, and you
imagine.
Yeah. I say that, and then you throw.
This is a total 90s video, though.
That's very 90s, isn't it? Like the seizure-inducing camera perspectives. Yeah.
It's basically, we got this new technology. Let's put it in every music video.
It's my sweetheart. I was trying to get Elena to.
And she was on the charts, what, a week or two ago, but or a month or two ago, I should say. But this is the riff where you're like, this is Mary J. Blige.
This is the real introduction, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what is considered her top song, but this is the one that I'm always going to come to when you throw her name out.
Yeah, this is the first one.
Now you're going to think this is the Mortal Kombat movie song. Or at least I always do, if you guys remember that one from, what was it, 94, 95 Mortal Kombat in theaters. Had its own techno-ish song, but
I don't remember this. Oh, I do.
Rhythm is a dancer. What an artsy video.
I promise you, I've never watched this video.
I have no memory of it.
I thought I'd watched the video before, but
it's the Blue Man Group.
Yeah, this doesn't look familiar at all.
This is the Macarena before the Macarena. Rhythm is a dance.
Classic.
I think this is from Boomerang soundtrack, if I'm not mistaken. And this is a classic indeed. Yep, there's Eddie. Soundtracks, I just can't, anytime I talk to to Alex, who is 20 years old. You know, like this comes up so often when we talk movies or music in 90s. It's almost like you cannot separate music from movies when you're having this discussion, because soundtracks were such a big deal.
Sure.
I bought a lot of soundtracks.
So did I. So many, because it was, you know, this was pre Spotify, pre making your own mix CD or something like that. Really, yeah, you got a lot of great artists, a lot of cool songs, variety.
Yeah, this is a good one, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a big PM Dawn fan.
Chili Peppers.
A solid guess based on the quick image that you may have seen.
Yeah, I was just looking at the face of the guy. Okay.
But no, this is Charles and Eddie. You know Charles and Eddie.
You know Charles and Eddie.
Charles and Eddie made a song. I just cracked myself up. I'm sorry.
Any idea what the name of the song is, Cass?
It's just started playing for me because you know I'm on like a minute delay from you guys.
All right, on.
But
here's the chorus. Oh no, it's not. Never mind. Maybe it is. Here's the chorus.
What do you think that guy is? What do you think his national?
You've heard this song.
I don't know this song.
I've heard this song. I just had to turn up my.
You've heard this song and you thought it was from the 70s, but it was just Charles and Eddie.
I don't know this, man. He
not...
sounds like one of the Edmonds, one of the Babyface brothers.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it sees. This is one of those songs you're gonna hear walking around a supermarket nowadays.
I don't know this song.
Prepare.
I think the guy's a Native American though.
Copyright issues. Want to talk about it? Like to listen? Here it goes. Even though the love of my life, I'm sorry, no, my wife sitting in the next room. Let me rephrase this. The love of my 12 and 13-year-old life, Dawn Robinson, blocks me from using her videos in our show. I will figure out a way around it because we must talk about Free Your Mind by En Vogue. Too big of a deal not to.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it suffered the issue of getting overplayed like way too quick because it's like, oh, this is a song about racism or whatever. Let's play it every 5 minutes until everyone is sick of it. But it's still in vogue.
You're right.
It's still in vogue, and it was still a great song. It just suffered from a little too much play. But also, you were getting to look at En Vogue, so what you did.
Walking down the roadway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I feel so meh about En Vogue when they're clearly amazing.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, how they scarred you over the years, so you're so apathetic towards them now. But
yeah,
they were amazing, at least for a small period of the early 90s.
Yep, agreed.
Maybe that's it. They just didn't have a lot of length to the group career.
A lot of girth.
Neither did these guys. Color Me Bad.
They dropped off straight to the ground. I have no memory of this song at.
This was in a soundtrack to something. This is Forever Love. I don't have any memory of it whatsoever, but hey, it's on the charts.
Yeah, I'm good without it.
Slow month on the charts when I'm throwing in a Color Me Bad song I've never heard of, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I remember this song.
This one, I believe, is from the Mo Money soundtrack. This is Jade. Take a look at Jade.
Yeah, this is a good
you guys
one.
remember Jade?
Of course I do.
These guys sitting around watching videos about Jade, who was
Had a good little
doing their best Prince impression right now.
Yeah, that had a good little jam. I like that. That's got a good groove.
Yeah, I remember the hook.
Come on, then. Hey.
I'm here dancing in front of my microphone. I'm glad we're just audio here.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm jamming right now.
Shifting gears to a rock ballad.
Oh, it's Def Leppard, though.
Not
my first rock band.
This isn't Def Leppard, but I do have some Def Leppard for you this week. This.
Oh, okay. I thought it said Def Leppard.
Yep. You were getting the sneak preview of the next one. This is Firehouse.
Oh, boo, sorry. I don't know that fool.
Spoiler alert.
I don't know that fool.
I guess they have like a template where they're like, well, we only do hair rock videos one way, so you got to show some live footage with your shirts off. You got to have some black and white footage, and you got to have playing in an empty theater footage. There is nothing else. This is how we do them.
Somebody's got to have their shirt off.
Yeah, I don't want to misrepresent Cass, but I'm going to go with you're the closest thing to a hairband guy we.
Hey, I'll carry that burden, you know.
Sure.
And gladly,
okay. Good.
Def Leppard, Guns N' Roses. That was a lot of, and as we get into just a couple years from now, when alternative rock is in full swing, you know, I'll be glad to.
Sure.
But I wouldn't call them hair bands.
Well, not alternative, but I mean, what is it going to evolve into? Like, now's as fine of a time to say it over this Def Leppard video. What does Def Leppard, not actually Def Leppard, right? But what does Def Leppard turn into? Def Leppard turns into Nirvana, which turns into, I don't know, you know, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam. Please don't say that. Nickelback is an abomination. I don't know where that came from.
Canada.
There you go. Def Leppard is like, if you like them, you're probably gonna like them, you know, because they have a very specific sound, you know. And if you don't like them, you're never gonna like them because they have a very specific sound.
Who doesn't like Def Leppard?
I mean, hopefully no one in this
Who doesn't
particular
like Def
conversation.
So confused.
Let us know in the comments below who doesn't like Def Leppard, and we can tell you why you're wrong.
Yeah, and I can't name all the songs after Hysteria, but I can tell you that they all sound okay.
But if you heard one, you would know it was them.
Yeah. You'd know it was Def Leppard because it sounded good and it sounds like them.
Yep.
That was the jam. Number 1 from the album.
You think so?
I think it was the first song.
Didn't we see Tennessee already?
We did.
Oh, you're saying this was...
I think Tennessee was like the number 4 song on the album.
Oh, you're saying track order. I got you. I thought you were saying this was the top rated song off the album, which I don't...
No, Mr. Wendell. I give that to Mr. Wendell.
Yeah, I didn't have an argument against you. I was just like, I thought maybe Tennessee was probably good, but now I'm thinking maybe you're right about Mr. Wendell. Good album. Didn't you say that the problem with the album is like their first few tracks were like all the singles, right?
But I had to knock the brother out for being rude. It took 3 or 4 cops to pull me off of him, and that's the story, y'all, of a black man acting like getting stomped by an African. Let's go, right? Yeah, we jamming in September with the overall releases.
I feel like this is one of those bands that should still be touring.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro, I saw them on AFFest in Athens, Georgia. They're still doing their thing.
Excellent. You know who
they
still
just don't have the...
Go ahead, Cass.
I mean, why are they not? Are they just not recording new stuff, or is it just not getting the accolades and the release?
That I can't say.
Might be like the B-52s where they're just touring around doing their old stuff.
It may be, and I'm sure that maybe they do have some new stuff that they do, and that the diehards love it, and it's putting food on their table. That's really all you can ask for from
a music
your
career,
chosen profession.
Anyway, you know who's still doing well? At number 8, some five weeks later, has not dropped. Has not dropped.
So by has not dropped, does that mean he's been steadily increasing, or has he been sitting at number 8 for like 5 weeks?
He's been sitting at number 8 for 5 weeks. This is just the primer. Okay, this is his first single. This is his first single.
First and last.
No.
Is it first and only?
I'm priming you, uncultured. At the beginning
Daniel,
of this show, I announced you two as the experts of this decade, and then you let me down right now by saying,
what's the name of the song again, Daniel?
This is Just Another Day by John Cicada.
I feel like it's right in front of you.
Well, yes, it is. Everything is right in front of me, but
yeah,
I would have been able to tell you that blind, with one ear covered up, through one of those cups with a string on it. I would have been, oh, that's
Give me 3 John Cicada songs.
I'm Free, Just Another Day. There's another one.
There's another one. I'm sure you had a whole album of them.
Yeah, I'm sure there was probably at least 10 on an album.
It's a wrap. Whatever. It's a wrap. John Cicada.
Okay.
God bless you. I hope you're living your best life.
Well,
if you hit number 1, I owe Daniel. What was it? Some whiskey or a steak?
I believe it was a whiskey, but I'll take a steak.
You're not gonna be taking anything. You're gonna be buying.
You were so confident. There's not even another half to this bet, right? It's just.
Yeah, I don't. I had nothing to lose. I just need this man to get to the number 1 spot
number 1
on these charts
at some point in his life.
And not even at some point in his life. At some point within the next 3 calendar years, it's gonna happen. I mean, look at
John Cicada can put out an album right now, and I'm interested.
For all we know, he may have. You know, he was
sure
very.
He has, and
he's
probably firmly sitting at number 8 right now.
He's very. He's very popular in South America.
Obviously.
He's like the Shakira of his time.
Shakira.
You know, less pleasant on the eyes, but nonetheless. Here we go. Let's mix it up a little bit.
What's up, girl?
I'll tell you what's up with these girls. They're playing hard to get. Of course, these gentlemen would have to acknowledge their existence for them to. One of the girls plays electric guitar and it's not even plugged in, so. I'll bet you a whiskey that none of these girls know how to play these instruments.
Right. I don't remember this at all.
Don't you remember the little hook there was like, she likes me? Yeah, that's I remember it.
I remember this. It's an immature, is it?
No. The name of the group is High Five.
Oh yeah, High Five. I think I actually had this CD.
Yeah, they got a better song than this. This isn't a good one.
Yeah.
Well, this is number 6 on the charts this month, but this may be their lead single, so they may have more to come.
The Kissing Game, I think, is their.
Oh yeah, that one's gonna do really well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your number 2 song of September.
Smith with an Y.
Switching gears. Patti Smith featuring a legend, Don Henley, from the Eagles. Although I preferred all this stuff that was non-Eagles related. This is Sometimes Love Just Ain't Enough.
You invited it.
Here's the man. A little bit of a Johnny Cash look. Doing it better. Don Henley's better than Johnny Cash. There you go. There's your controversial statement of the week.
Why? Why did that just happen?
I don't know. Because he was
comments
dressed in.
are about to blow up.
He's dressed in all black. Just made me think Johnny Cash, and then it just made me think how overrated Johnny Cash is.
There's a limb. Let me walk out.
I'm gonna walk out on this
guy have
limb
a
and
movie
jump
made
up and
about him?
down. Top 3 overrated musical acts of all time. Number 1,
Elvis Presley.
Oh, I like that. He can be number 3 on my list. I'm gonna go Beatles, Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley.
That's a decent
Just
list.
absorbing all the hate in the universe. let me take all that. Well, there you go.
I don't know if I have anything to add to that list.
That's a pretty solid list. And I like the Beatles, but they're not that good.
They're not. They don't. I mean, yeah, just like Elvis, and like Johnny Cash, they just don't deserve the level of praise they get. I mean,
right.
Then you can dig deeper into where they really even pioneers. The Beatles were a different story. It's like, oh, Americans have never seen British people play music. Let's just get wild. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to the number 1 song, your reigning defending champion, as it were. A month on, 5 weeks later, I actually moved this chart. I moved it an extra week just to try to get a couple of new things on the list. But here we are, at the end of the road, at the end of the list. We are still stuck at the end of the road.
Beautiful song sung by some talented men.
I kind of, it's a threat to still be there next month. I know this thing was big for a while.
Yeah, it was. Or at least in my cassette tape player it was.
Yeah, at least in everywhere. Everyone's cassette player, everyone's CD player, everyone's MTV.
Yeah, I might have graduated up to CDs by this point.
I had a CD player at home by this point. We weren't driving in '92. Well, not legally anyway. We were driving around our yards.
It's the 7th grade.
Yeah.
I'm trying to dance with Sharita Madden at the dance to this song.
Yeah. How'd it go?
I gotta dance.
I think they filmed Karate Kid.
I'm gonna say,
Peter
now that I'm looking
Cetera's
back on it,
filmed right behind this guy.
that dance went really well for me, actually. I got some serious grindage going on.
It's a PG-13 show. Let me remind you.
Yeah, with all due respect to my brothers, her brothers, our teammates. But yeah, absolutely. I went to that dance with one thing in having had a good dance. And I want to say that this song was probably a part of all that. Absolutely. And this is September, so this would have been right around the start of school year.
I'm thinking it would be. What school started in August? Remember, it started a little later in our day than it does now. Sure. So yeah, you probably.
So this would have been homecoming dance, right?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. I'm legit thinking, homecoming.
I'm thinking your
Sharita,
timeline checks out.
Absolutely.
With DJ Oz.
He's still around.
Is he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
DJ Oz. Thank you for the opportunities, DJ Oz. That is going to be it for your music of September 1992. We're going to check ourselves. This is the fact-checking segment of the show where we make corrections or addendums to last month's episode. What do you got for us this month, Cass? Do you have that list that we...
Yeah, I do. Turns out we were a little off with our Golden Girls knowledge here. Estelle Getty, who played Sophia, the mother of the Golden Girls, was Not the oldest and not quite the youngest. Rue McCallahan was the youngest. She played Blanche. She was born in 1934. The one who is still alive is actually the oldest Golden Girl, Betty White, born in 1922.
She's a vampire.
Yeah,
Did we
and
get that one right? Did we say Betty White?
I can't remember if we said she was the oldest or the youngest because she was still alive.
I thought the grandma, or I thought the old lady on the show was the youngest. I remember stepping out on that one.
That's right, yeah. But she was actually the mom was the third oldest, but it's also within they're all within a year of each other except for Blanche, who was about
she was a couple of years, about 10 years younger than everybody else.
Yeah,
that's probably why she was so bornable.
The mother was a year younger than the B. Arthur who played her daughter on the show.
Right on.
So makeup.
Also,
Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and
Japheth.
Japheth?
How
Japheth.
did I should have remembered that. I don't know. I just feel like I've heard enough Bible stories with those three goofballs that I should have remembered that.
I've always had trouble believing Noah's story in the Bible, Noah's Ark. So I've just kind of skipped over it and not really tried to talk about it because of my concerns with the validity of the story. But that's for another day.
Are you one of those believers that the flood happened just?
I don't see how the flood happened, to be quite honest with you.
Sure.
Not the entire earth. Maybe like
just where they were.
Yeah, it was just a little rain shower that freaked everybody out. And then covering Howard Stern, in 2004, he signed for $5 million with Sirius XM, or Sirius at the time. I think I said he signed a $100 million contract, but I know that's not technically in the 90s, but just correcting us there.
You were
still
$100 million off.
How much did he sign for?
He signed in 2004 for $500 million.
In 2004.
Yeah, and he renewed in 2010 for $300 million, but I think he dropped to like 3 or 4 shows a week, so he could do different things. Now he's a judge on America's Got Talent, and
which makes
had a
no
few
sense.
other, yeah. So those are the corrections and addendums from last episode.
Oh, there's one more. Your rapper on the Bobby Brown song "Humping Around."
Oh, that's right. I forgot about him.
Was Jan C. Styles. Let's give a little bit of nod.
Jan C. Styles.
Jan C. Styles.
Which, unfortunately, when I was researching him, he has been run into some trouble in Florida for he's on the sex offenders list.
Oh,
so.
Well, I take back my nod to Jan C. Styles, but we I guess in the unbiased overall scheme of things, we appreciate your contributions to Humping Around.
Yeah, apparently he was doing a little too much of that humping around.
Oh. And we appreciate you for watching and or listening to our show. Join us next time as we explore the spooky month of October. Halloween's upon us. Hopefully there's some cool horror stuff on television and in the theater. My favorite month of the year, October 1992, coming up next time. Thanks for joining.
Peace.
Peace.